Yam Yam, Andrew Boki, Christina Cage, and Derek the Mighty Wind. Weekdays from 8 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. USA. NUFC Talk.
Night Show. I'm your host, Tim, and joining me tonight again is Christina, Tina Tooney, and the Mighty Win. Emphasis on the word mighty. How are you doing?
No, definitely. They definitely win.
Absolutely.
Nice one. Yes, we are live on YouTube, live on the website, nufcradio.com. So please give us a like. Keep the comments coming. I will try and get to as many as possible. And give us a super chat as well if you want to guarantee your comments being read out. And if you can, become a member for $4.99 a month, where you'll gain access to exclusive content. Right, so I had a few things lined up to talk about. And about 45 minutes ago, some news broke about the stadium, which is very interesting. So we might as well get our teeth stuck into that. It's been reported by the Daily Mail that the designs, about the bubble wrap, etc., is accurate, and they've got some mock-ups as to what it would look like. I haven't read the full article, but apparently they want to do it on Lees's Park. I'm right in saying that is still the case. And yeah, we have some pictures here, so let's have a look at them. And I'll ask straight away, Win, what do you make of that?
Well, what you've got to imagine that they've taken a slice off the front so you can see the side, what's actually inside. So you're not seeing the end as it would be. But yeah, I mean, it looks amazing, shall we say? Especially when you go down to the concourse, particularly.
Yeah, and you've got pictures further down, haven't we? So we've got pictures from the inside as well.
That's what your new concourse is going to be like, folks. If this is to be believed, and it's by all accounts, it's very much a copy of the new stadium in Las Vegas.
Yes,
where the Rams are playing now, I believe. They call it the Death Star.
Yeah.
And
based off your favorite films, Win, the Star Wars films, I know you love.
So it'll be Los Angeles then.
That's what it'll look like without the front cut off. So, by all accounts, I think they're having the panels around the outside so they can make it whatever colour they want. But with various lighting, it wouldn't surprise me if Sella have a big say in this, because that's their thing. That's what they do.
It looks a little bit like a diamond in the middle, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
It looks.
I'm into it. I'm not gonna lie.
It looks very impressive. But we've seen a lot of these. We've seen a lot of artists' impressions in AI generations. But I would settle for that. Absolutely.
Would you? What do you think, Tina?
Yeah, I love it. I like the fact that it looks like there's a diamond in the middle. I like that it's kind of with like the piping on top kind of look, well, probably not called piping, but you know what I mean, the little white pointy bits kind of still fits with the aesthetic that we're used to. It's bigger, it looks classy. I mean, it looks ultra impressive, it looks modern. I'd be very excited if that happens to be the true design of what we're getting.
Yeah, like
what
I like about it. Go on, Win.
What's not to like is what I would say.
I know what you mean. I mean, there is obviously the emotion with St James's Park, and I still think St James's Park in its current guise still looks amazing. I know some people say it looks dated and stuff, but to me, I still think it looks epic. And it looks bigger than actually what it is. I think it looks like a bigger capacity than 52,000. What I like about this design is that the roof, it does remind you a bit, doesn't it, of the roof at the Melbourne stands and the Lees's stand. So there's a crossover there, and I would like to incorporate something like that. where there are reminders, of St James's Park. And the inside, actually, if you have a look at the inside there, Win, it's not too dissimilar in that you've got the top tier going around. You know what I mean? It's not separated by number of tiers. It's just got the top level 7, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Um,
Just one one continuous
exactly. And
boulevard. I don't know what you mall.
what I would say is one of the things I love about St James's Park is when the players come out that tunnel, the first thing that hits them is the lettering on the east stand that says in capital letters Newcastle United. And make no mistake about it, you know exactly where you are. Those players know exactly where they are. The opposition knows where they are. And you look at a lot of stadiums these days, especially modern stadiums, and barring some LED, I know there's a screen there, but barring some LED flashes that it turns into adverts 5 seconds later, a lot of the time you couldn't tell who the stadium belongs to with these new ones. Personally, what I want to see, and I think it would be a great touch, is to transfer over that sort of lettering from the east stand exactly up where you're pointing, Win. In between the two LED screens, you could have, or even just along the bottom,
But I
Newcastle.
think that's on the halfway line, that one. So that's what the players will see when they come out.
Yeah, even maybe below that then.
Yeah.
Something along the bottom there, exactly where you're pointing, in big capitals, Newcastle United. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's beyond the realms of possibility at all.
Yeah.
There is another thing.
But you could
on,
equally have a very impressive display on the screen itself. Indeed, on all three screens, because I think there's a one out of shot here. It looks to me as though there's one at that end, one in the middle, and then the one out of shot on this end.
So you got the LED screens and the possibility of lettering, but there is also one more thing that we could make sure always appears as they walk out the tunnel, and that's the war flags display. That, if they make that very Newcastle themed, you're not going to mistake that for anywhere else, are you? If we've got that just in the group of fans directly as you come out of the tunnel, I think that would be it. And I think that's a little bit more intense as well. It's a little bit more hype for our players, and maybe a little bit more intimidating for opposition teams.
Yeah.
And more
welcoming
for our own.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Can you zoom in to that section where you can see inside the stadium, and it's like the smaller stand, if you like? Then that's it. I'm going further down. Cheers. And then then to the left. And that stand there where it's like the Gallagher end, if you want to call it that. Because that looks interesting. It looks like it's smaller than the other stands. Yeah, right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's as far as I can zoom. That's as big as I can zoom. So you're talking about, that is the Gallagher, as you say.
It looks similar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So is there a chance that the bit where it looks like it's the top of the stand may be windows, and that may be the VIP section?
I think it will be.
We're here.
Yeah.
Above that, so like at the top bit there. Yeah, exactly where you are now. Yeah.
No,
so
I think they are the stanchions that are holding the.
No, below that, like the bit.
There.
Like glass.
Yeah, like the glass bit.
I'm not sure.
You know what that section reminds us of?
I think those windows there will be the front of the boxes and corporate.
Okay.
Yeah, VIP area.
And the bit there, that looks like the roofs of those boxes. The ceilings of the boxes, shall we say.
Maybe. But that's almost definitely going to be like, executive corner.
Yeah. No, I think it's. I love the mall. That's really impressive.
Yeah, that looks pretty nice. I think it all looks nice. I mean, obviously, we don't know how legitimate these plans are, but they're being reported in mainstream media if you
That's
want.
the whole thing lit up at night, obviously.
Well, I've got some comments. So I've got a comment here from Ian McCubbin, who celebrates 8 months of membership. So
Thank you,
appreciate
Ian.
that, mate. Take it there will be a closable roof.
I don't think there will
Well,
be.
if you look at that, it looks as though that could definitely be. That's definitely coming over the whole pitch by the looks of it to me.
Yeah. I'm not a massive fan, to be honest, of that sort of stuff because part of football is the conditions of the weather. And, I don't think you should avoid that personally. It's part of the fun, but maybe there's other reasons why you would do it. Obviously, concerts and stuff, isn't it? Maybe.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Potentially they put the roof up for concerts, but don't put it up for... Because I don't think football works very well in a closed stadium. I think I've seen with other sports, it kind of affects people's cardiovascular performance, and the air in the stadium is very different. I mean, you're going to have 65,000 people, plus your coach and staff, plus your VIPs, plus your players, plus your officials. That's a lot of people breathing a lot of air. And if you've got a roof on top of that, you've got to think pretty quickly that's going to get a little bit stuffy.
Yeah.
If I'm not overthinking it. I mean, it is quite a big
and like
space.
I say, I think this area here, I think this will be open air. So I think you'll have the circulation coming in there.
Yeah, between the struts. That would make sense. Do we know? I mean, you've said that it's going to be on Leazes Park. Do we know how far the team is in regards to any sort of planning permission for Leazes Park?
Nobody knows anything about that. I don't think. I've seen nothing concrete, and there is still, because I check the Newcastle planning applications register.
Okay.
And there's nothing in there at all. That doesn't mean there's not talks going on behind the scenes, but nothing has been officially submitted yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Craig Hope gives any substantial updates in terms of, something concrete. I haven't read the full article. Jack later on may well have more concrete information on what Craig Hope has written, but like you say, Win, I think the main news with this is really the pictures, isn't it? And what it could look like. And I'll always be sad about leaving St James's Park. But when you see that, I mean, there's still a tinge of sadness, to be honest with you, because, I love where we are, but it is impressive that I would want to see some tweaks, definitely, to what I've mentioned. But go on, Win.
Prosaic is in, gifting a membership. Thank you once again, Prosaic. And that has gone to... Let me just see if I can find out. It's gone to... Diva 7167.
67.
So if you can thank Prosaic for your membership, David, that would be appreciated. And thank you once again, Prosaic, who, as we all know,
massive supporter of the channel.
Is a legend.
He is a bit of a legend.
Yeah.
Oh,
we've got a super chat there.
They haven't decided on extension versus new build yet. No point applying for planning permission until they know what they're applying for, says Monkey Sputum. Thank you for your $5.
I mean, I would think you would have to have some... Yeah, thank you very much for the super chat there, Monkey Sputum. I think you would have to have some sort of... You would have to, before you make a decision on whether you're going to expand or do a new build, you would have to have some sort of knowledge as to if it's even possible. There's no point you making the decision, okay, we're definitely going to do a new build, we're definitely going to do it on Leazes Park, and then you apply for planning permission and the council's like, no, not a chance. Get on with your bad selves. I would think there would need to be some sort of talks that would go on before you would actually make the final plans, if that makes sense.
But we do know that talks have taken place, because the the leader of Newcastle Council, who was ousted at the elections just gone, so she's no longer head of the planning, and she lives in Lees's Terrace, and she was the mouthpiece really of the kind of Save Lees's Park brigade, and she was head of the planning as well, planning committee, and she's no longer in office. She got voted out. So, but the Greens have taken over, so it could be better, could be better. Like I say, I mean, I would just, if I was PIF, I would turn around and say, take your pick. We'll either build on Lees's Park or we're out of town.
Well, green means go, so that means yes, right?
Make your mind
surely.
up. And anybody with half a brain's going to say, go ahead and do it, in my opinion. Because the city centre will die without match day revenue. It'll be like many, many other city centres in the country.
6 and 2 threes, isn't it? Because you want to get the deal you want, but if you go with that threat, you don't want to necessarily follow through with it, do you?
No. Ideally, they see sense and say, yeah, go ahead and do it. I
What
mean,
if they didn't win the win?
Bluff.
Ideally, they say, you know, never mind Lees's Park, just you can have Lees's Terrace instead, and then that way everything's sorted. We can just literally expand the East Stand, and I get kicked out.
That's a nice take-up win.
But what if when that the council don't budge, would you actually take it out?
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're never gonna catch up. I cannot.
I'm not sure I would want to move the stadium.
Well, it's a biggie, but you know, you've got to choose your poison. Do you want to be number one by 2030, or able to challenge the global elite, or are you happy just chugging along and being also Rans, getting into Europe once every 10 years?
Yeah, but at what cost? You know, at what cost would you want that success?
There you go. That's the dilemma.
Go on, Tina.
I think that part of the question mark here is obviously the people who are making these decisions don't necessarily care how big a team Newcastle United is in the next, even up to 10 years. There is a flip side to that, though. When PIF took over the club, there was apparently some sort of agreement in the fact that they were going to invest in the local area, and there's definitely a lot more there's a lot more tourism and a lot more footfall when Newcastle United are successful. There's definitely benefits to the city, I would think, of Newcastle United being a successful football team, being, an elite football team. So I think although the people who are making the decisions might not necessarily be as big into football as we are, there is also potential benefits and potential infrastructure evolutions that could happen if they do back the idea of a new stadium.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think ultimately it is the way to go. I mean, would either of you, if they can extend St James's to 65, I think I know your answer, but do either of you still have an inclination to stay there with that?
If they can extend the current St James's to 65,
Right.
Yeah, that would do for me.
Would it?
I don't think that's possible.
Well, maybe be 62, wouldn't it? Yeah,
well,
it's 10,000 it can do. So 62. Would you stay there with 62?
Potentially, if everybody is open to the idea that those 62 are going to pay a hell of a lot more than they're paying right now, including me.
Tina?
Why would you need? I mean, I would be happy with the stadium expanding to 62,000 to stay at St James's Park. Although now that I've seen that pretty new stadium, I kind of want the pretty new stadium. But girl math, you show me a new outfit, I'm going to want it, even if I've just bought one. But I don't necessarily think that if it was to be 62,000 rather than 65,000, that it would necessarily have to inflate the prices. In fact, if anything, I would think the prices would potentially go up on the back of a new stadium, and I don't think that it would need to, but I think there's more of a chance of that happening.
I've just got some
another graphic on screen.
got some new shots in. Thank you, Connor. I believe that's the architect's drawing. Allegedly.
Interesting.
Did you get bored and start playing Tetris on the left-hand side there? Yeah, line these blocks up.
Well, this one's even more interesting for the very reason that. So that's the artist's impression of that. That's the AI image of that architect thing. Interestingly, there in the bottom right-hand corner, Northumbria University. So I wonder if they've had anything to do with this.
Maybe.
So that's the cutaway section from the other side, because the last one there, if you look at they've got that's looking to. I don't know, but that could. You think that could be the director's box?
Whereabouts when?
If we're looking at that one, I'm assuming that's the director's box there. Yeah, and then if we go to the actual artist, yeah, that could be the it is the same side. It's the same side. So that's effectively looking from what would be the east stand now, except
exactly
different place, obviously.
And the tunnel's there, isn't it? So,
so the tunnel would be looking towards the stand that's been cut off.
It's quite similar, isn't it? The layout. I think maybe there's 3 tiers, isn't there? But I don't know if it's an actual tier or if it's like the current St James's.
Well, I think it is. If you look at the cut off on the side, you can see that it's definitely, 3 separate concourses, maybe even 4 separate concourses. One at the bottom there, one for the, it is. It's 4 levels, isn't it? If you look just under there, there's 1 level, 2 level. Is that a
I'm
level
only seeing
there?
3.
Yeah, it is.
No, I don't think so.
Around, no, that doesn't go around to there. It's weird.
I think it's three tiers.
It's 3 tiers by the look of that.
But it looks really good. I mean, like I say,
There's definitely a tier underneath by the look of that.
You've
definitely got people standing on what's effectively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 levels. There. That's a big old stadium.
Yeah. But to the naked eye, it does look similar to St James's, where you've got that top tier going around, and you've got obvious boxes. I'm assuming going around. So again, I like that. I think there should be some kind of carryover from St James's Park, so that there is a bit of a familiar feel to it. I would like that, and that does give that a little bit there. Like I say, I want to see that Newcastle United lettering somewhere, preferably that side, which I'm assuming is the east stand that the camera's kind of placed on there, if you want to take it that way, when the players come out. And when I seen that stadium in Las Vegas, I was impressed. I mean, like I've said, a lot of modern stadiums I'm not too wowed with, but with that one, I think it was impressive. And clearly this template, is based off that.
And apparently that is where they're talking about putting it.
All right. So is it just going to be like over the top of the old stadium?
It'll overlap our current footprint according to that, which I love because that means it's nearer the city centre. And I know you're only talking a couple of 100 yards, but ask the Newcastle Labour Club what difference a couple of 100 yards makes. It's immense. since they moved 200 yards away, they've had to close. Whereas it was one of the busiest clubs in the northeast.
Mm.
So, very
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, and yeah, when you look at the pictures, could that be the best stadium in the league if it was to?
it'll
100%.
certainly be up there. Listen, the Saudis will want to be number one in brand, won't they? And let's hope they can make it happen.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
I love it. I do, seriously.
yeah. Right, I'm going to move on from the stadium.
Yep.
No doubt, the lads will discuss it later on as well. But yeah, it's really interesting news that came out about an hour ago, and hopefully we get more pictures as well as time goes on. What I'm gonna move on to now is Kieran Trippier, and War Flags have said that there is going to be a display for Trippier against West Ham to give a thank you basically for his 4 years with us and what great years he's given us. It's been ups and downs, obviously. It's not been all plain sailing, but no one would doubt he's been absolute top class signing and a massive signing in our history to change the direction that we were heading in. So I think that's going to be great to see that. I know he's on your Mount Rushmore win, and I'll come on to that. Tell us first of all, what you think of Trippier, what you think about this display coming up, and yeah, I'll come to you, Tina, after. So go with that win. I'm going to pop out and come back in. I want to sort out a few issues with my microphone, but kick us off, Win.
Yeah, well, Kieran Trippier for me, as I say, he is on my Newcastle United Mount Rushmore of all time, along with Alan Shearer, Kevin Keegan, Jackie Milburn, and much to everybody's surprise, Lauren Robert. He's just there for me. He's just there for me. But Trippier is there on merit. He came, took a wage cut we now know, and I don't know if Trippier hadn't signed at the time that he did, would we have had the winter window that we ended up having with him coming and being able for Amanda to be able to say to other players, this is what we're doing. We've already got a La Liga title holder coming. You're going to be one of the many. When they were approaching the likes of Bruno and Botman and Pope, and of course Dan Burn, but that's another story altogether. Dan Burn would have crawled over a mile of broken glass to get here.
Potentially.
But I just, and then when he did come, the effect he had on the team, his professionalism, everything to do with him for that first season and a half was absolutely exemplary. He was top of the Premier League, top of the whole league for assists. He scored some crucial Kieran Trippier over the top goals, and it was just a breath of fresh air. Absolutely deserves everything he gets. Okay, he went through a few personal issues by all accounts, and his form dipped a little. But he never ever gives less than 100%. He might make mistakes, he might do this, that, and the other, but it's not for one to try. And I don't think, except for that brief spell when it seemed as though his head wasn't right, and we can forgive him that for everything else that he's done. Never let us down. Unfortunately, his legs have gone, so time to say a sad bye-bye, but will always be up there in my highest estimation. Absolutely love the guy.
And it is a sad goodbye. I mean, I honestly question whether he would have survived that first half a season with Eddie Howe in charge if Kieran Trippier hadn't agreed to come to Newcastle United. I mean, his goals, his assists when he joined, and to be fair, before Kieran Trippier joined, there was through the Brucey years, the Cashley years, there was always like it made the Premier League look really, really difficult. I think this season's reminded us how difficult the Premier League is, but I used to look at games, and I would look at like teams that we're playing against. I was like, can we get anything here? And more often than not, there was a no. I didn't see any sort of strength in our team to make me believe that we were going to be capable of even holding things to a draw. Once we signed Kieran Trippier, as long as I saw Kieran Trippier's name on the team sheet, I had a feeling that we were going to do okay. He controlled the team. He had his fingers on everything. He was directing how we played. He was directing the defence. He gave a confidence and a level of self-assuredness to those around him that I hadn't seen at Newcastle United since Mike Ashley ripped the heart out of the club. Like, there was no comparison. Well, sorry, if you compare the team before Trippier to the team once Trippier joined, it's like chalk and cheese. It was literally a different team. We went into the next season, and I mean, I don't think we can downplay, the fact that when Trippier dropped off, when Trippier, had his personal issues and gave up the captaincy, the team hasn't really been the same since. And I know that we've got Europe in Bruno's first season as captain, and we did also win a trophy, but we did go through a lot that season. Things weren't as clean sailing, and to be fair, we kind of squeaked the Champions League that year. And I don't think there's any sort of question that those two things correlate. Like, our lack of assuredness and Kieran Trippier's kind of drop off very much intertwining with each other.
I'll make you right.
Yeah, and to say what I think, I'm sure I'm going to repeat what you have said there once as I've been away, but yeah, I think with his leadership, that's the one thing that stands out. And I'll just take it to even just this season where everyone thought he's past his best, he's not really of any use to us. And obviously there was rumours, like you say, about him wanting to leave and personal life, etc. But he's came in this season, and despite all the issues that he's had, and despite him not being in the team, and despite, like you say, the captaincy being taken off him, he comes in and just gets on with it and becomes the leader that we know he is. He doesn't sulk. He doesn't, downplay his role, if you like. Even on the touchline as well, when he's a sub, he's there encouraging the lads and pointing and shouting to the lads. So, yeah, his leadership was massive, and he's even this season, like I say, put in some brilliant performances that has surprised everyone. And yeah, to go through the journey he's had, where a lot of players would have sulked, is a testament to his character as a player for us. And you'd love to see players like that with the black and white shirt. You know what I mean? You know what you're going to get in terms of application. They might not have a great game every time, but you know that you can trust them to really apply themselves and also lead others as well around them. So he's going to be a big miss. And I know in the interview that he said that he would love to be manager one day of Newcastle United. And, I think he meant it. And the fact that he really is bought into Newcastle is brilliant as well. And to me, he's got at least a coach written all over him. So I really hope if he's got that substance, which you would like to think that he has in terms of being a coach, that we will come back to him and maybe get him into the coaching staff, with the youth team maybe at some point and see how he gets on with that. That would be great, because what a link that would be, to have him years down the line on the coaching staff, where you've got young players coming through. They'll remember him and go, "Oh, well, I remember you being a right old leader on the pitch. I want to do that. I want to be that." So, yeah, hopefully he stays with us in the future.
Just out of interest, we have another image in. That looks the business, does it not?
It looks like a completely different stadium to the one
That's
seen.
exactly that's what you saw, but without the front sliced off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not as keen on it now. To be completely honest with you, I preferred it with the little bits at the end where it looked like windows.
So how would that work, Win?
So every one of these panels is a can you see me?
Advertisement board.
Can't see me indicator there, can you? Never mind. Every one of those panels.
Yeah.
can be any colour you want. So you could have it all black and white stripes, black and white hoops.
Yeah,
You could have,
Allianz Arena style.
Hang on, I have seen this exact type of stadium before.
It's by Munich's template, Allianz Arena.
Right. I mean, obviously you're going to do black and white for match days, aren't you? I mean, you couldn't. Well, black, white, and blue. You couldn't like just have like random
but
like.
you can also
pink and orange
you can make they're all digital screens, so you can make them. It's like a That whole thing is a digital wall, so you can have lettering, you can have messages, you can have whatever you want on any of those panels.
Not a fan, personally.
No, I love it. Absolutely love it.
I want good old-fashioned concrete. This is our castle. This is our fortress. And that's that. No nonsense. I'm old school. But I can see the appeal of that. But how would that work, though, with what we saw before, Win? Would they, like, disappear? Or, like, how would that work? Would
Well, that there is exactly...
That awkward moment when people see your internet history.
Yeah, be careful what you click, Win.
Be very careful, Win.
So that was the architect drawing.
Yeah.
And that's the... Where's the one I had of it? Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see it just from that picture, can't you? Like, it's obviously going to have the bit in the middle that I keep referring to as the diamond. And then around the outside, you're going to have what I'm now going to refer to as the styrofoam.
Yeah, you like that one.
Yeah, see, I thought that was what it was going to look like. And I was like, wow, that looks amazing. And I thought it was just going to have, like... But yeah, now that I think about it, that would be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
That's where the front bit cut off, you see. So when the front bit's not cut off, when you see that, you see where I'm indicating there. That's where the wall, the lighting wall, which you saw on the next one, on the one at the bottom, in fact, there. That's where it kind of cuts off. So. Yeah.
So it's only one side where it's that kind of bubble wrap LED.
No, it's that goes exactly as you say, like the Alliance. So that goes all the way around. But what you're seeing there is you've got to imagine that they've cut through, so they've sliced off.
Yeah.
You're seeing what's behind
the bubble wrap.
Behind the bubble wrap, yeah.
You see, though, that looks more epic to me.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking when I saw that, I was like, that looks amazing.
Aye.
But it's a physical impossibility to do that.
Yeah, that might be a fair point.
You've got the why is that not sharing?
I'm sure they could come up with something that's viable where it gives more of that look, not necessarily exactly that, but I want to see something where it is a bit more epic. And I know you can do the LED stuff, but I want something permanent. I want the building look to be a permanent look, and you can maybe incorporate things around it as and when, but that just matches my view, my personal taste. But if they could do something like that from the outside, I think that looks better than having a full bubble wrap going across with LED panels. I mean, don't get us wrong, the Allianz Arena, you look at it, it is impressive. I haven't been, but it does look impressive, and from the inside as well, it looks really imposing. So no doubt this would be the same as well. Yeah.
Let's not forget, though, this could just be complete rhubarb. But it definitely looks good. But I agree with you, Tim. I kind of like that epic look of it, with like the windows going all around the outside, and the dip in the Newcastle United. It looks like there's like a diamond resting on top. I was kind of into that, and then when I found out that it had the bubble wrap going all around the outside, I was like, oh, it's a little bit disappointed. But then when you told me that you can put lights on it, like, I can see how it's going to be gorgeous. But I think what me and you thought the stadium looked like before wind burst our bubble wrap, so to speak, was I think that just looked so
Very
unique
therapeutic.
and epic. Yeah, I mean, hey, if we have another season where we're, you know, worrying about relegation, we can all just go around the outside of the stadium, pop some bubble wrap, everyone will calm down, and then, you know, things will move on as normal. But no, I think that what me and Tim thought the stadium was going to look like, I mean, imagine that sitting in the middle of the city. I would have absolutely loved that. But with the LED screens, I mean, there's probably going to be a bunch of Adidas advertisements all over it. I could imagine. I don't know if they'll do anything when it's not match day, but the epicness of that for like concerts and stuff, like the only thing I worry about with the bubble wrap, so to speak, is that it almost looks like a generic modern stadium, if that makes sense. Like, it looks like a stadium that other people have, like, as we've already named a couple of stadiums that it looks identical to.
Yeah.
Whereas the one that me and Tim thought it was the first time, what I'm going to call Newcastle Diamond Hill, it just looked amazing. It was the most unique thing I've ever seen.
Well, that's the word, unique. So that's bubble wrap is synonymous with Alliance Arena. So I want something unique that is belonging to Newcastle United in terms of identity. So that there, it looks great, but it's Bayern Munich. That's what I think of. I want the look not to be reliant on LED panels. I want the look to be kind of what it was before, where you can't change that. It is what it is, and it's unique to us, and no other club has that. Bayern Munich Stadium looks brilliant, but I want to be different. I want to be unique to that, as good as it is.
I mean, that does look nice, though. The picture that we just put up there. Like,
Oh, well,
like,
I'm your now,
And it can be anything you want, you know, that's the beauty. It can be.
No,
literally.
I still agree with you, Tim. That first one that we saw, if that's what our stadium looks like, that would be my absolute choice. That looks good, but it doesn't scream Newcastle United. But I mean, if
but
they
it
build
would it would do it was sitting on the top of the hill.
It's. I mean, look, I would take it because I want a new elite stadium, and I want to support the biggest club in the world, and I'm never going to not support Newcastle United. So there's only one way I'm going to ever be able to live that dream, and that's if Newcastle United become the biggest club in the world. So whatever they do, if that's what we get, then that's great. But yeah, Tim, I very much get why that's kind of burst the bubble a little bit. Like, that first one, the two of us are sitting here like, wow, look at that.
Yeah, but maybe it's not set in stone. You know, maybe they are wanting feedback, and maybe they might rejig things a bit. Yeah, I mean, these leaks, do they come out by accident? Part of me thinks that some of these things are out there on purpose, so they do gauge the feedback from the fans and the reaction. That there's certainly a unique win.
That's Tim's choice.
That's my favourite ever. With hotels in the turrets.
That would be gorgeous, though, wouldn't it? To be fair, I would totally take that. I mean, how could you not be intimidated walking up to that as an opposing team? You turn up and you see that, and you can probably already hear the noise, because on match day, you can hear the noise all the way in Finham, and I know that for a fact. So, like, imagine how far you're going to hear the noise with an extra 10,000 people plus in the stadium. I mean, it would be amazing. But again, I mean, with what we can do with the LED lights, if it is the bubble wrap stadium, as I guess we're going to call it now, or that I've just decided that we're going to call it now, I can see that being, when they have the black and white around it, I can see it doing something to impress us still.
It looks epic until the power goes out.
This is true, and then it looks like styrofoam and bubble wrap.
Yeah.
And then you've also got the Greg Stadium.
The Gregs. I would take that just for the memes, just for the absolute lulz of it. Like, it would be absolutely memed on by the rest of the Premier League, but it would be worth it. Like, look at it. We could get Gregs to be like on the front of the shirts if they've got enough money to manage that. obviously it would need to be vegan rolls and not sausage rolls.
Whoa, that's it. End of that.
No chance of that, Tina, fortunately.
Our survey said,
You can't blame a girl for trying.
Well, that's the thing, though, Tina. You'd be around a lot more people probably, promoting and wanting to eat the normal.
And on the subject of being in a confined space for 60,000 vegetarians, no, thank you.
No? They're not convert you
wrong with that?
Well, I'm thinking of, shall we say, excess gas.
Aye.
Have you not met meat eaters before? Because I certainly have, and believe me, there's a lot less. My diet is a lot less gaseous than theirs is, shall we say?
Well,
I mean,
back on the football.
We could digress.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, because you were saying, Win, about what was it? The body has something in particular to tailor for eating meat. But I'm going to leave it there because you said something about that.
Scientifically wrong. I can absolutely shout that down.
Why do we have an appendix?
Yeah, that was it.
Specifically to digest meat, because we are carnivores.
Not what the.
Well, we're omnivores, obviously, but we are carnivores.
We'll move on.
I'm going to redo it my own YouTube show to just debunk all of what Win just said. But yes, for the time being, let's do some football.
Yeah. Let us know when you're up and running, Tina.
We've got Gavin's on your side, Tim, saying, I don't think it's worth the chance of losing the soul of the club for an extra 12,000. Well, all I say, Gavin, is that's fine as long as you're prepared to waddle around in the middle of the Prem.
Well, not necessarily, though. I mean...
Yes, necessarily.
But if you have St James's Park, don't get us wrong, it does decrease the chances. I'm not denying that in terms of the revenue. But...
It doesn't decrease the chances. It eliminates any chance.
Where did we finish last season?
So do you mean revenue with, like, exactly, yeah, we'll finish 5th, 4th and 7th, obviously.
We've done all right at St James's Park.
And we have in the past finished 2nd and 3rd, but that was when we were the biggest spenders and the biggest earners.
Is the point you're making around the revenue with the corporate side, Win, and the concerts and stuff?
Everything to do with it. Everything to do with it. Just revenue, you've got to be bringing in revenue on more than just 19 days a season.
Is there not an argument to modify St James's so it can incorporate those events a bit more?
But unless you've got a state-of-the-art venue, you aren't going to attract the type of international superstar acts.
How's it working for Spurs?
Working very well for Spurs. Spurs generate more. Well, I think did they pass it this year or last year? They passed the point where non-football revenue, stadium revenue.
So are they officially in Champions League now? Hold on, let me just have a quick look.
No, they could be officially in the Championship.
Yes, exactly.
Premier League. Oh yeah, it's not going too well for Spursies, like, is it? I've just noticed they're not. I mean, if you turn the league table upside down, it's looking okay for them, but
yeah,
a little bit. I already knew where
Spurs have been very, very badly managed. That's why, from the top down,
by 6 different men in the
well,
space
no,
of
but
one
I'm
season.
talking about higher up than the 6 managers.
Oh yeah. I mean, the hierarchy.
That's the point
top,
there.
Absolutely.
Obviously, if you don't get your hierarchy right, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, it's true, but I think it is a good point in that they are where they are, and also there's a lot of Spurs fans going to that stadium wishing they were back at White Hart Lane and absolutely fed up with the club, and a lot of it is to do with the stadium. And I know, obviously, if they're winning games, that changes the complexion of the football side of things, but a lot of fans feel like that club and that stadium is not there necessarily for football. Football is one part of it, but it's there as basically an entertainment venue, and the heart and soul of what they had before is no longer there, and that is a heavy price to pay. So we have to be very careful, because that is a brilliant case study, in my opinion.
Monkey Sputum saying extend the 65 is all right for the short term, but then you're stuck at 65. And Bevis is saying, the Bevis, or the Beavers, I'm not sure, people are too fixed on the number. A big, shiny stadium gets a much bigger and better sponsor. Well, hopefully we've got a new, bigger and better sponsor coming in. That's also in the news that I think they'll be talking about later on. The Loopy Green Party, not a chance that they did get the Newcastle area. Well, sorry, but they did. They control the council now.
Unlucky.
The graphic shows steep stands. That is absolutely class.
Yeah.
That's going to be good as well. Like, that's going to have the fans like right over the stadium, which is what you want, because we've got some of the loudest fans. We've got some absolute banging songs. Let's have that intimidating the opposition. Let's have that jarring on our team. Imagine Bruno's reaction when he has 65,000 people singing "We've Got Bruno" in the middle, and they're like right there and over the top of him. Like, just think of how hype that's going to be. I mean, I think I would definitely, like, there's definitely exciting things about it, but I do get the idea of, if we built this multi-purpose stadium, does it kind of take away a little bit from the football team itself? Like, I understand the resistance against it, but I can also see a lot of positives for it as well.
Yeah. Well, on that point, Tina, right? It sounds pedantic.
We've got into full on politics in the chat. We're going to leave that aside. Where you doing? Politics.
Can't go there really. On that point, Tina, like I say, it sounds pedantic, but one way of getting around it is simply having emphatically inside the ground the lettering of Newcastle United. You look at Spurs, inside the ground, that could be anywhere. Apart from that cockerel at the top where it's like you can hardly see the damn thing unless you squint your eyes. There's nothing that identifies that stadium belongs to Tottenham Hotspur. So, like I say, I want the new stadium inside to blatantly belong to us, and that when those players walk out, it hits them in the face that they are at Newcastle United's ground. So,
sorry, Joe Little hit them in the face.
Well, there's that as well. But little things like that, like I say, it sounds a bit picky, but little things like that I think do go a long way, and we have to incorporate those things when we're building these modern, shiny stadiums. Anything else you want to mention about the stadium before I move on?
No. But what I was going to say is, I hope it has a big, shiny trophy room ready.
Fair point. There is a fair point by Adrian Pickett actually in the chat there, who has pointed out in response to my comment that by the time the stadium is built, Bruno's going to be 36. So yeah, maybe I've overstepped it by saying it would be Bruno who'd be getting hyped by the fans, but
he might be though. Maybe part of the coach and stuff.
He might just still be our centre midfielder. You never know.
Eddie will still be flogging him out.
Yeah, but there was I can't find it now. I saw a chat that was saying along the lines of, we have now, it would appear, definitely lost the takeover feel-good factor that we had when we signed Trips and Bruno and the rest of them. That would appear to be, that honeymoon period, shall we say, would appear now to be over.
But if news like this comes out and is confirmed, then I think that momentum can be built up again, couldn't it? So, yeah, let's see what happens in the future. But hopefully there's no more false dawns. We do need something concrete at some point, because it is getting tedious where you hear these things and nothing happens 6 months down the line and we're still waiting. So maybe in the summer. We'll move on. And we were speaking before about Kieran Trippier. And we were speaking about Mount Rushmore. So that the three players that have made the biggest impact, in your opinion, for the club. And like you said, Win, Trippier is on your Mount Rushmore. There was also Laurent Robert. And who was the third one?
Kevin Keegan.
And was there another
Alan
one?
Shearer.
And Shearer. Who's on yours, Tina?
Wow. Definitely Kieran Trippier. Definitely. Hold on. Okay, so my Mount Rushmore would go Kieran Trippier, Alan Shearer,
You're trying to stop yourself, aren't you?
After yes, I'll be honest. Okay, so Trippier, Shearer, Beardsley, and Bruno. And didn't even say Shaw.
Bruno is within a heartbeat of it, to be fair.
Yeah. I would say I think two of them I might have to agree with. So maybe Bruno is on there, and I think Shearer has to be on there. The other two, I'm maybe going to say Rob Lee, and I think Beardsley. Did I say Beardsley before? Yeah, I think Beardsley.
I mentioned Beardsley.
So Shearer,
Yeah,
you've got to entertain us. Shearer, Beardsley, Rob Lee, and
Bruno.
Bruno.
There is a shout that if
Instinctively,
there was
that's what I'm saying.
fifth,
Yeah,
you'd probably have to put Fabian
I'm
Schär.
seriously going to have to think about kicking Lauren Robert off it, or Bruno.
Yeah, you know what, Win, right? I mean, I loved Robert. He was, iconic for us, and he gave us so many great moments. But if you want to talk about comparing him to Bruno and talk about the contribution, I don't think you can deny that Bruno was a lot more consistent and obviously gave a lot more kind of heart and passion.
Well, again, I would argue about, people talking about Robert's consistency. I would argue he was consistently good.
He was definitely an exciting player as well. I mean, you just watch that one game against Tottenham. I don't even have to specify the second I've mentioned Tottenham after we've been talking about Laurent Robert. You know exactly which game I'm talking about. So you look at that. You just look at some of the goals that he scored. Like he was such a unique footballer in the sense that he had a lot of technical ability and he got the ball and he thought about, I'm going to run down the wing and I'm going to put a cross in, and then all of a sudden this feeling took over of, no, I'm going to kick the ball really hard at the goal, and that was it. And it went 9 times out of 10 fly in. I mean, he scored some absolute worldy, some of the best free kicks I've seen from a Newcastle
Newcastle if you
player.
look at there's a real good doing the rounds that I've got saved on his 34 goals for Newcastle, and there's not a bad one amongst them,
Yeah.
And there's some, any one of them could win goal of the month. The two against Spurs, the Fulham one, when he does that somersault in midair and somehow gets his leg around to stick it in, that was
Yeah.
So that against Arsenal.
Fulham, wasn't it?
Fulham.
Nobby Cross.
Yeah, in the Gallagher end from the right wing cross.
Yeah, and as well, he's something you don't see nowhere near enough of these days. A player who is willing to take a shot from a distance,
from 35 yards from a free kick.
Willing, unconvincible to stop from taking a shot from 35 yards.
Well,
I think would be more when that sums up Lauren
Exactly.
Robert.
Yeah, and brilliant. I loved it, and like I said, now more than ever, you miss that sort of that creative player and that eccentric player. I do think there was times where, you say he was consistently good win. I don't know if I'd go that far, because I think there were a lot of times where he would have a good game one week and the next week, he's literally kind of jogging around, not really looking that interested. It's par for the course, really, with some for their players. But there's games in my head where I could point to straight away where if a player did that now, then my word, there'd be repercussions from modern managers, because he's standing there. He might as well have his hands.
But the thing is, though, I have arguments with people who rate Ginola higher than Robert, and if you're talking about a lazy player, then Ginola is the captain of that team. We had to double up and treble up to cover for him.
Yeah,
and then you hoped that what you got out of him, which a lot of the time you did, of course, was worth it. But I just think pound for pound, minute for minute, call it what you like. Robert left him standing for me.
I totally disagree, mate.
The individual, dribbling skills, individual dribble skill. Yes, Ginola had the edge on that. But in terms of effectiveness and output, Robert by a million miles.
Yeah, and his crossing was so good. the dangerous balls he put in the box were absolutely lethal to defend. If you are a defender, centre back, and again, don't see it enough these days. Just putting the ball into that danger area and just causing chaos for goalkeepers and defenders. And the curl he put on those crosses and the pace he put on them was just
All you had to do was get your head on them, and as long as you could direct it goalwards,
yeah,
the cross had done the work for you.
exactly.
And of course, at the time, we had Shearer and Ferdinand both on the end of them. And
I was
not
about to say
Ferdinand, but Shearer anyway, not Ferdinand.
I mean,
Shola.
if Jacob Murphy had Alan Shearer to aim for, I'd imagine we'd have a higher percentage of crosses that have turned into goals this season than we actually have. The Beavers has put a fantastic Mount Rushmore move, by the way, which is Hayden, Hendrick, Mike Hooper, and Andres Anderson. And I don't think anybody can argue with that lineup from the Beavers.
I don't know how they escaped my memory, like, to be honest with you. He's absolutely nailed it.
What would be the opposite of a Mount Rushmore?
You know, in Jurassic Park, the scene where she's putting her hand in something. I don't know if you... There's have a look at that. It's a mountain of something, put it that way. I mean, Robert... One thing I just say about Robert before I finish on him, there's an interview with Gary Speed one time where he was a guest at one of our games when he was injured with Sky Sports. And he said, look, Robert, we didn't track back all the time, but as midfielder, I don't mind it. I'm happy to cover for him because I know what he's going to do when he gets the ball high up the pitch. And as a fan, I'm the same in that, yes, I can pick calls and I can definitely pick games where my words, he hasn't applied himself, but it's kind of part of the fun in having these eccentric players, as long as you know they're going to do the business high up the pitch. And yeah, he was one of them. And again, you want these characters, and you don't want to go too far. Obviously, it's a happy medium. You want that balance, but you want that creativity. You want that personality, and he certainly was a personality.
I'm just laughing because I've just stuck in the co-pilot. What would be the opposite of Mount Rushmore to celebrate failure? Mount Crushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
Flop Rushmore.
I mean, Mike Hooper's making his way on
the Hall of Shame, the Collapse Colossus, the Monument of Misfires, and the Blunder Boulder.
I'll go with that. The Blunder Boulder of Newcastle United.
I would say Silvio Maric. There's so many. Stefan Gavage.
There's Gavage. I mean, he was actually a decent player as well, wasn't he? Just not for us. Much like Yondal Thomason and so many others. I wonder what you would say would be the actual worst, like the Blunder Boulder of Newcastle. Mike Hooper, Boom Song.
Well, I tell you what, Isaac Hayden's up there for me.
Do you reckon? I thought he was decent. I thought he was a decent player.
No, I thought he was absolutely rubbish.
Nah, I thought he was canny.
What about, let me think. So you definitely have Hooper.
Well, we would have Diarmi as well. No, I thought he was a good player.
Oh, you couldn't have
Well, no, Diarmi was better than, marginally better than Hayden.
Diarmi won more tackles than Kante in those 2 seasons for us in the Premier League.
Leon Best.
Oh, no,
You'd have to be putting Leon Best in there.
I thought he wasn't too bad as well.
Yeah.
Did a job for us.
Okay, my apologies.
You're the one being harsh here, Tina. I thought you'd be...
How am I the harsh one all of a sudden? I was just trying to think of names of players who weren't super successful, and I've let myself right down there.
Have we got any more Mount Rushmores in the chat? Let's have a look, see if anybody else has given a... Let's have your Mount Rushmores, folks.
So we've got Mike Williamson, somebody said.
Oh, Mike Williamson on the Crushmore.
I think Crushmore, he's responding. I think Borky might have mentioned him.
Mike Williamson was our best centre-back, says Borky. Yeah, that's Borky being Borky.
But again, I think Iron Mike wasn't too bad. Go on, Tina.
No, I was just reading Vivier's on that. I am getting absolutely roasted by chat because Leon Best was much better. To be fair, I was really young and stupid when we had Leon Best.
That's a great point that David Veach is saying there. All of the greats scoring goals Because you can have screens as well, you know.
Mm.
All of the great scoring goals on bubble wrap as you walk up the ground and
I
through
like
the
it.
wonderful
True.
new park of St James's Park.
That's true. That's true. I mean, what about having it where um, most of it going around is the bubble wrap, but then the entrance, just what we saw there, really. You know, the entrance is without the bubble wrap, but then the rest around it is the bubble wrap. Maybe you can combine the two.
There's definitely, like, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, like, as what we've seen now, where it's almost like a carbon copy of
Exactly.
Bayern's stadium. Like, I would like to definitely see a few little personal tweaks
Yeah.
to to the stadium. But
Yeah.
at the same time, the idea of having, like, Shearer's greatest goals, Robert's greatest goals, Obafemi Martin's greatest goals for Newcastle United while you're walking up to the stadium. I mean, that's kind of hype as well, though. Like,
Yeah.
I could definitely see something behind the, like, reasoning behind that. But I think we've got some more
We've
Mount
got
Rushmores.
Phil in with the Mount Rushmore for Keegan, Beardsley, Shearer, Bruno, which I think was yours, Tim, wasn't it?
Fair shout.
And then we've got a Mount Crushmore
Mine is cute.
of Marcelino, Obertan,
Yeah.
Boomsong, and Bramble.
I would say Boomsong and Bramble were both better for us than Sol Campbell ever was, though.
Well, I think Bramble got a bad rap.
Hmm.
He was a cracking centre half, but he just had a
Can I-
a goal conceding mistake in him every game.
Yeah.
And
Definitely better than Boomsong.
And that's really why I worry about Chow, because he's showing similar tendencies. He'll have a great game, but drop a unforeseen
Better than
Rick,
Bramble, though.
and it cost us a goal.
Can I just call one thing out in chat? We've got Here We Go Again. 8237 has said Albert Luque was shocking. Let's not forget Albert Luque was brought in to replace Laurent Robert and put on the left wing, whereas Albert Luque was very much an out-and-out striker for the rest of his career. So I don't think Albert Luque is I don't think it's being fair to Luque to base any opinion on him on what he did on the left-hand side of Newcastle United's midfield.
Oh, he came at the wrong time, didn't he? Unfortunately, and he came when Graham Souness was manager, and it did not go well at all for Souness. And then obviously Roda came in, but he kind of put Luque to one side, so
Yeah, well,
it was
he
an absolute
came in
nightmare.
as kind of a marquee foreign signing, didn't he? And he was going to be the bee's knees, so he had an awful lot to live up to. And like any player coming into the Prem, it takes some getting used to. It doesn't happen
Yeah.
overnight.
And he
But
pulled his
people-
hamstring on his debut as well.
That's right. People made their minds up very quickly about him.
Mm.
As Tina says, probably unfairly.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged me, lad, because I thought, what? But that's because I didn't like Souness as well. So I'm saying, it kind of took on a bit of that taint, if you like. So I was less patient because Souness had signed him. Very unjustly, I might say, 2020 hindsight.
No, I do remember at the time being annoyed that he wasn't at least given a fair run in the team. When I think it was more when Roda was manager, and he was kind of just being left out all the time, and there was a lot of negative noise around him. And I was thinking, well, okay, but he hasn't had a proper run in the team. Let's give him a chance. But yeah, it didn't work out. And we've got Borky saying Bramble was a younger Shaw. I'm assuming you mean Shaw, not Shaw.
Borky's just trying to upset me.
Yeah.
I would imagine with that comment. I've never seen Titus Bramble score a 35-yard screamer. I've never seen Titus Bramble ping a Beckham-esque ball over to our front line. So, yeah.
Well, no. Funnily enough, Bramble did.
Yeah.
Did
Scored
he?
a scissor kick against Chelsea.
Bramble.
I'm getting gaslit here. That can't be true.
No,
did.
absolutely. He was renowned for that. Here comes the Hollywood pass, and kind of one and three would get through.
Yeah, seriously, his passing was quality. Like, there's no doubt in that. His crossfield passes were absolutely pinpoint.
And also, his
Okay,
interception.
my apologies to Bramble.
Because he could move, for a big fella. And
Yeah.
when he was travelling towards you on the wing, going in ready to go in for a slide. If you're the winger or the inside forward going forward, you're thinking, "Ooh, I don't know if I fancy this."
Yeah.
And he won many slide tackles. Obviously putting the ball out into touch, but in dangerous situations.
That's better than giving up a goal, wasn't
last
it?
line of defence, absolutely, yeah.
I don't think Shaw's got as many mistakes in him, or hasn't had as many mistakes in him as Bramble. I would say that, Borky. I know Shaw has had them in the past on
Yeah,
Rick
when he
here and there,
first
but I
came.
think, yeah, where Titus just he never really ironed that out, did he? The whole time he was there, like you say, when you knew the Rick was coming at some point. And it's a shame because he had all these other attributes, like you say, that would have made him a top centre back, but he never cut those mistakes out. But he's better than Boomsong, no doubt for me.
Better than Kasapa. Better than Sol Campbell.
Yeah, well, that Portsmouth game for Kasapa was a nightmare, wasn't it? That put end to his career at Newcastle. But yeah, there's so many, isn't there?
We have had some shocking players looking back at it, though, haven't we? Like, we're saying Ian Rush in his 50s, saying John Barnes in his 50s, we're saying Mark Viduka when he was past his prime, we're saying Jeremy played him at right back.
Mark Viduka did okay for us.
Yes,
he was
another one
never
I thought
the
he was
same
funny.
player that we had for that played for Leeds. So he was never quite the Mark Viduka, was he? He was always like
Well, he was definitely on the decline, but I thought he did okay for us.
Yeah, a lot of these players, they joined at a time when the club was in chaos. If they joined when it was a bit more stable, then they would have flourished a lot more. And I think we're seeing that with likes of Viduka, where when Kevin Keegan came back and actually there was a bit of stability and everybody was united and on board and the players were on board with the manager, we've seen Martins and Viduka and Michael Owen and others, Nicky Butt, playing good stuff. Jeremy played good stuff for them, definitely. So, yeah, it's right club, wrong time for a lot of these players, I think, over the years, unfortunately. Got a question for you. So, what player from the past, if you could only choose one, would you pick to put into the current side now? To
Lauren
fix
Robert.
where you want to fix with it? To replace Gordon?
Absolutely.
Davide Santon.
Of all the players?
Because he can play left back and right back. And that's what we need right now. See, I've been smart with this one.
Two for one.
You weren't expecting me to say Davide Santon, but
Correct.
when you think, I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, to be fair, you'd be hard pressed to not pick Alan Shearer, wouldn't you?
I know, that's obvious.
I left Shearer out because that is so
it's
obvious.
too obvious. It's like you'd obviously have Alan Shearer. Maybe, I mean, there's a shout for Nobby Solano.
I think he's my pick, like, for right wing as well. You know, right wing is definitely a problem position for us. And who better than Nobby to come in?
I've had a story for enough of that. Were you trying to suck up the question? You were going to say Nobby Solano, and then I've just came in and booing it. Sorry, dude.
The one that nobody thought about. Aye.
Sorry. Ben Arthur, that's a shout.
Apart from 2/3 of the panel.
Yeah.
Actually, I tell you what, Ben Arthur, to play as a right winger.
That's true, you know. Aye.
I would take.
We've had a few shouts in the comments for Ben Arthur for Rushmore. Well, I'm saying Rushmore. I'm assuming it's Rushmore, not Crushmore.
I couldn't put him in Mount Rushmore, but yeah.
He's a definitely not legend, but he's a cult hero. Like, I love Ben Arthur. I think that's a good shout, by the way, for Mount
David Batty.
Sorry, not Mount Rushmore. The current side. Who would you pick for today's team? And yeah, David Batty. We talk about the number 6. He would absolutely slot in there and help us big time.
He would start winning a few midfield battles and second balls that we're not winning now. That's for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Czech Tiote would be another one that I would take from the past, just purely because of the fact that he did nothing but defend, except for that one game against Arsenal where he scored probably one of the best volleys anybody's seen in their life, to the point where he was actually shocked by it. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was a fantastic defensive midfielder, and again, something that I feel like we could really do with the team at the moment.
Yeah, and you know what he loved doing? He loved defending. He loved tackling.
Yeah.
He took pleasure out of that, and players these days, they don't love it enough. It's more of a chore to get back, whereas he was like, oh no, you're not getting past me. I want to do the dirty work, and we need somebody like that really to
Yeah,
sit in there and do that.
But Bokey saying the
absolutely.
original Tino, him and Asula would be like watching a washing machine play football.
Oh, but it would be fun though, wouldn't it? I would
Which
take
it
that.
wouldn't. There'd be
Imagine us
legs
playing.
going all over the place.
It'd be funny, like.
There's a shout there from Gary though, Shea Given. You probably couldn't say too much bad about that. I mean, he would be an absolute world class first choice goalkeeper. Him or Big Pav, the Geordie. Johan Kabay, I wouldn't necessarily take.
No,
Kabay.
I think you know, I suppose it depends on your era. You know, when you've come into the game, but there's a whole generation who put Kabay right at the very top of the tree. And I watched all his games, and he was, you know, a good player, but not in the stratosphere that some people seem to put him.
To kind of Fraser's got an interesting suggestion of who he would bring back into the team, or who they would bring back into the team. Sorry, I mean,
yeah, well,
fair shout.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for.
I mean, a prime Jonathan Woodgate wouldn't go amiss, but yeah, Santon, Ben Arfa.
But we've got a prime Jonathan Woodgate.
Yeah, but he's always injured.
Like Jonathan Woodgate, that's what I'm saying. That's
point.
exactly what I'm saying. We've got a one.
No, that's a very fair point.
Yeah.
Shinola.
Yeah. I think wingers and goalkeepers are the pride, and obviously strikers. Alan Shearer is the obvious one.
And the number
but yeah,
6.
Number
and a right
6.
back.
Yeah.
And a left
Yes,
back.
everywhere,
And a
isn't it?
centre back.
Yeah.
Well, if you're looking
apart
at the current
from
squad, we don't need a right back and a left back because we've got Tino and Hall. But, you know.
Are we going to still have Tino at the end of the season?
Well,
and plus we need cover for Hall. And Davide Santon, I think, would give us that class to have that on both the right. And I know he preferred playing on the left, which was weird for a right-footed fullback. But, you know, I was always a big fan of him. I don't think he quite made the mark at Newcastle that I would have liked him to, but I was always a massive, massive fan.
Yeah,
of,
I was Santon. I mean, I was always a fan, right? And I think he was a good player for us, but there's one moment that sticks in my mind where he let us down, and that was a derby game against Sunderland where we lost 3-0, and one of their goals, I don't know which one it was, but it just in my memory bank of trauma, and I'm sure the ball, it bounces out, and Santon is there, and he just dangles out a left foot, kind of half-heartedly, and their player just gets in and puts it into the empty net. And I'm just like, all you needed to do is throw your body at that, and that's not a goal. So yeah, that one moment, it kind of overrides a lot of positives, but I do think he was a good player overall, definitely. I think...
well, what about Enrique, though? He was a class left back.
Him and Gutierrez, what a partnership that was on the left.
Totally. What a classy left back he was. And
he was.
You couldn't get past him. He was a tank. He was defensively just so solid, but on the ball he had that close control. He could drive up the field with the ball, and like you say, his link-up play with Gutierrez was just brilliant, and it's a real shame like he left. I don't blame him.
He won me 600 quid.
With what?
When he scored. First goal, 33-1.
Against Forest?
No, I think it was against West Ham.
Okay, interesting bet to put on, like.
I used to always have 20 quid on whichever of our defenders was the biggest price. That was as good as a couple.
Oh, Nikos Davizas. I forgot he existed until you just mentioned him there.
He's been one of my favourites. Like, I loved his passion. He was a really good defender. He obviously loved Newcastle. He played with his heart on his sleeve, and he was quality. Yeah. One player I want to mention is go on, Tina.
No, go ahead. I was just filling silence.
You say about Santon, that kind of fullback. I've mentioned this player before on here, but Nico Williams at Nottingham Forest. He
Yes.
reminds me of Santon, and he can play both sides. But it might be the case that he's actually better on the left, and obviously you've got Lewis Hall. But hypothetically, he could come in and play right back and be an option for left back as well. Would you consider Nico Williams?
100%. I think he would. I mean, and I'm sure we were looking at something. Is he not currently coming up to the end of his contract, or
I'll find out.
something along those lines? It was either the potential relegation thing that we were looking at, or the contract thing that we were looking at. We were like, oh yeah, Williams all day long. I think he would be again if you're looking if I'm sitting here looking for a Davide Santon, you probably could do a lot worse than Nico Williams.
Yeah.
I
I would definitely have. We spoke about that last week, I think.
Speaking of Mount Rushmore, so David Spence, Fabrizio Colaccini.
I
forgot about him.
A
He
lot of
was
sculpting to do on
class.
his hair.
I want curly hair too. I'm not going to sing the rest of his song because there's parts of that I very vehemently got offended by, but I do like his
Brilliant
curly
song.
hair.
Absolutely brilliant song.
I liked it. It made me laugh. The first time I heard it, I nearly spat. What did you just say?
But the thing is, when he came, he wasn't a hit straight away, and he struggled in his first season in the Premier League, didn't he? And got relegated in the Championship. He absolutely walked it, and then he carried on that form into the Premier League. And there's no doubt he was top class for us for a good number of years.
That promotion season, he was immense.
Yeah.
I mean, Colaccini was class before Newcastle signed him. I think it's one of those things, and this is why I'm like, some people think I'm like yapping wild when I say Walter Mara second season going to be a different kettle of fish. But look at the likes of Colaccini. Look at how bad he looked at his first season compared to what he was before we signed him, and then the absolute icon of Newcastle United that he's became. Like now he's kind of like the second I saw his name, I was like, yes, like who could disagree with Fabrizio Colaccini? So yeah, I was that's why I think Walter Mara's going to be the top goal scorer in the Premier League.
Wasn't great first season.
I mean, I would disagree, but I can see the argument for that, and I think we've proven that since then he's became one of the centerpieces of the team, probably the most important player we've ever signed. To be fair,
Pound for pound, probably one of the best.
Yeah, 3 million is unreal, isn't it? When you think
crazy
what he's given us, for that price. And shout out to Rafa Benitez for that signing. Great spot.
Well done, Rafa Benitez.
Aye. Can you imagine him and Colaccini, by the way, at the back, the ball playing ability between those two?
We've got a Mount Rushmore candidate here.
I don't remember that person existing.
I remember the name.
Should I?
There's not a lot to remember, to be fair. Not a lot at all.
Which team did they even play in?
Oh, who was he playing for?
Was it under? Was it Hullet or Sir Bobby?
I think
it was around that time, wasn't it? Yeah. There's Fullback as well. That's Sir Bobby. I think he had him on trial, didn't he? And I didn't see him play, but apparently he came on as a sub, and people were saying like, "Who on earth is this player?" He barely looked like a footballer. Apparently, the only Brazilian who couldn't play football. But he's one for Crushmore.
So
but yeah,
it was indeed. It would have been Hull at 98-99. He was. We signed him in 98 and sold him in 99.
What about Ronnie Johnson?
Well, again, I mean, I think he only played about 6 games or something for us.
Yeah.
But he did okay. And he was definitely on
Ronnie
the way
Johnson,
down. Man United.
The Manchester United player.
Yeah. He was like 35 or something.
I didn't know. Genuinely did not know we signed him.
Yeah. When we signed him. Yeah. But again, it was
a
Sol Campbell. It was when he was on. He was well and truly over
it was a bit of a Sol.
It was.
That's fair.
Yeah, there was a moment away at Chelsea where we conceded a goal.
When you look back.
Yeah, and Ronnie Johnson. I think Ronnie Johnson, I think, and Titus left the ball between each other. And the Chelsea striker, lo and behold, says, "I love that, thank you very much," and comes in and scores. It's, yeah, plenty of moments like that, unfortunately.
Fabulous. Fair shout from Philip there. Shaw, Colaccini and Albert Luque all signed from Deportivo La Coruña. I didn't actually know Colaccini had been signed from Deportivo, to be fair. I thought we'd signed him from the Italian league, to be
No,
honest,
he definitely came from.
it was a while ago.
Well, Lee there says that your favourite, Tina, Santon, couldn't defend or didn't bother trying.
Ooh,
I mean, go watch him for Inter Milan.
Shots
He
fired.
was all right. He was. I mean, he probably didn't do a lot for Newcastle, but again, he's one of them players who should have been better than he was. Much like Obafemi Martins, and I loved Martins for Newcastle United, but you look at the player that Inter Milan had, as opposed to what we had, and you think, wow, okay, that's why we signed Obafemi Martins. And I think it's the same with Davide Santon. You watch him for Inter, he was absolutely fantastic. You would have him in your first team ahead of probably 95% of the left backs we've ever had in Newcastle United's team. But for us, he maybe wasn't. He maybe didn't shine. He did get married to a lass from Newcastle, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not myself, but.
Well, speaking of Oba Martins, how old was Martins? That's the question.
21 or 28. Easy question.
Yeah. You know, Jack?
Good evening. How are we all doing? We good?
Yeah, all good.
Good.
Happy days. Happy days. Right.
It's time for the late night show, folks.
Yes, indeed.
Cheerio,
Yes, thanks for all your
Tino,
comments
cheerio,
and
Tim.
your
Well done.
interaction. We'll hand it over to Jack and
Tino?
have a good one, lads.
See you later.
Tina.
Take
Cheers.
care. Have a good show, Tina.
Right then. Right. Hello. Good evening, lads. How are we doing? Wayne, Ian, and Peter. We are good to go, aren't we? Right.
Well,
Locked
good.
in for the evening show. We'll be going through. Well, you know what? There's actually quite a lot to go through because Craig Hope's dropped his latest confidential, and we've had the leaks for the stadium, or the first picture of what a new stadium could potentially look like. So we're going to talk about that. There's also training ground news. We'll talk about Anthony Gordon, and also there's potential transfer links as well that we need to discuss. Being linked with Luis Suarez. Seems not that Luis Suarez, but we'd link with Luis Suarez from Sporting, but seems like that's not going to happen. And there's also some stuff on the sponsorship as well. So let's get into it. First of all, how are we all doing? Ian, how are you doing?
Is Ian with us?
I am doing great, Jack. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I know you're good. I've been watching you pop up regularly on your Talk Sport.
Thank you very much.
Last night it was just my voice. My camera was weird. It was weird.
Yeah, I think it's weird. I think it's weird as well, mate. I'm not
Very
sure what's going
confusing.
on.
It's weird tonight as well.
Yeah, it's weird tonight. Right, well, give Ian a bit of chance to try and sort that out. Ian, I think you got a problem, mate. I don't know what's going on.
What's happening?
Well,
I can hear you fine. Can you not hear me?
Can
There was a
hear you
big
now.
delay. You can hear you now. You seem fine now, but there was a big delay before, and then no,
It was like Earth to Moon.
it was, wasn't it?
That's better.
That's better, yeah.
Keep
All right,
going. We'll see how it goes.
No, you should be all right. Peter, how you doing? Good, mate.
Yep, all good, Jack. Cheers. Like Ian
Fantastic.
said before, I've been seeing you pop up on Talk Sport, and
well,
seen that you were sitting you were sitting next to a certain Dwight Gale.
Oh
the other
yes,
day.
we did. Yeah, we did. We had Dwight Gale on.
It was really good.
Inside the Toon. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he was actually. I thought he was really good, actually. Funny story how I managed to get him on the show, but yeah, we can talk about it. To be fair, but yeah, and Wayne, how are you doing as well, mate? Good.
Yeah.
Ready for the last? You ready for the last home game of the season?
I am.
Bring it on.
I'm looking forward to the War Flags demonstration. I hope everybody gets behind it, which I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they will. Look, I mean, let's just get this season over and done with, to be honest. But yeah, I'm sure hopefully there'll be something about it. Right, let's start then with what Craig Hope has been going
I'm
on
kind of
about.
excited, by the way.
Are you? Are you excited for the West Ham game?
I'm excited.
All right, fair enough. Why are you excited
I've
for the West
seen
Ham game?
things in the last couple of games, which means that
Okay.
I think we might explode into through the middle ball playing action. I think it'll all
Have you
come good
have you
if the
seen
crowd's behind them
have you seen encouraging
and West
signs?
Ham go behind early. I've seen encouraging if you can pick the right bloody players in the right positions, of course. But I think he has
Encouraging signs.
tweaked things. I've
Yeah.
seen things.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. Look, it's 4 points from the last two.
Anyway.
So that's a good way to look at it, I suppose. No, we'll go into it all. But let's start off actually with this news then. So essentially, Craig Hope's latest Newcastle Confidential, always a very good read. But he's basically got a picture, which I've got no idea to show, but whatever, it's fine. I'm sure some of the people will find it anyway. But basically, it's produced by KSS, who are the architects behind the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's got a bowl-like design, 2 tiers, and it's got potentially a bubble wrap like Bayern Munich Allianz's Arena. Now, apparently there's another also drawing as well that the Daily Mail have got their hands on that they agreed not to show because it apparently shows exactly where it's going to be in the city centre. So does feel as if they're leaning towards a new stadium. Now, it does also say that PIF are yet to make a decision. Shock. But it does seem that finally we are getting closer to a new stadium. Now, I'm going to go with Peter on that one. First of all, have you seen the picture? And then also, are you in favour of a new stadium? Is it? We got it. We got the new ground. Oh, here we go. And wins on it. Bosh, there we go. Look at that. There we go.
Wins on the money.
Win is on the money. Brilliant. Nice one, Win. So that's where the new stadium is going to potentially be. So we are going to lose a little bit of St James's Park. It's going to be a lot like the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium design by the looks of it if there's going to be a new ground. So really, really interesting. Peter, first of all, have you seen the design or the picture of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you reckon?
Well, I was watching the show earlier, and it's funny because the first few images, my brother Timmy was talking about it before, and the first image that we had up was without that bubble wrap, kind of like what it would look like behind that. So as if you kind of see like a transparent version of the stadium, so you can see the 3 tiers and the structure of it all. And that looked pretty impressive. The bubble wrap, the only issue I've got, right, it looks impressive as well, but because it's already been done, and I think Bayern Munich are the one club you kind of think of when, for me anyway, when I see this kind of design. That's the one issue I've got, is I don't want to just be like every other club. But I have to admit, I think the interior looks really impressive. And like Timmy said earlier, I think I like how it's kind of similar in the way that you've got like the top tier. It reminds me of level 7 going all the way around. And also the glass architecture at the top is a bit like the cantilevered roof. Sorry. So yeah, it'll obviously be like, state of the art, no doubt about that, if they do go and build this. But my heart tells me I would rather stay at St James's and just try and do whatever they need to do to kind of renovate that first. That would be my preference, but I can see the appeal doing something like this because, like I say, it will be state of the art, no doubt.
Yeah. And we're joined by DX. Good evening, sir. How are you doing? Great to have you.
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you all good, mate. Yeah.
I couldn't hear Peter there. That was just silence.
Oh, really?
Can you hear me now?
Can
you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. That was weird.
That was weird. That was very odd. All right.
I can hear breathing. I can hear someone breathing.
Well, you're all good anyway, so happy days.
Okay.
How are you doing? You good?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you. I'm all good in the hood. How are you?
Brilliant.
I haven't seen you in a few weeks.
No, I think last week I did a middle of the day show, so I was unavailable in the evenings. But that's how it is. But anyway, I'll come to you straight away then on the new stadium. First of all, obviously we've seen the designs there. Pretty exciting stuff, to be honest. If it's going to look like that, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm happy that things are coming together. Like, it's good to see some sort of blueprints, isn't it? And especially with the
Finally.
train. Yeah, exactly. Like spades in the ground. That's what both
Spades in the ground. Yeah.
But yeah, I just want us to kind of make this progress, because then it shows PIF are very committed to the club. Once that money starts going into that stuff, the infrastructure, then even if they were to say in a few years' time, we've had enough of that, 2030 and all that, maybe 2030, they go, that's it, we're on the map, and with football and all those things. But as long as we've got that, we've got the stadium, we've got the training ground, and we've got the infrastructure then to build the club up and up and up. And that's and when you think about it, wasn't the last person who really put money into the training ground, we're talking about the stadium, and the stadium, I suppose, was Hall and Shepherd were the ones, weren't they, who really invested. So it's been about 20 years. So we have gone backwards by a result of everyone else getting better and better, and we've kind of just stayed the same. And
30 years, not 20 years.
Yeah, probably 25 years, yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, look, if you think about, I was having a look actually at like some other clubs and what they're doing with stadiums. So Birmingham City have announced plans for a new stadium. Aston Villa are going to expand. Ellen Road's getting expanded. Crystal Palace is getting expanded. St James's Park's getting left behind. So I do think that it's finally good to see something. Anyway, as much as we can probably have a little discussion over St James's Park on new stadium, but coming to Win, are you excited about what you've seen there? Win,
yeah, I'm very excited.
It looks pretty good, doesn't it?
But it's again, it's talk.
It is talk. You're all right. You're all right.
You know that let's see it. Let's see a spade in the ground somewhere. Let's see an application submitted.
Yeah.
You know it just seems to be going on. It's 5 years now.
It is.
And you know, they were talking about the reason that they said there was plenty of time and all that was because 2028, you know, we can't change anything at St James's till after the Euros. So yeah, that was fair enough then, but that's like, you know, almost round the corner now. And the idea I would have thought would be to be building a new stadium whilst St James's Park was operating as it is, and that's not happening. And the idea of being able to expand the current St James's Park, it's pie in the sky to me. For how much it's going to cost, for what you're going to get out of it in terms of additional revenue, additional seats, and capacity to host other events. It's going to be counterproductive, I think.
Yeah.
Far better if they're going to say no to Leazes Park, just get out of town. And that way they can make all of the revenue from the car parks, from the franchises, from the hotels they build next door, conference centre, whatever.
You take St James, you take Newcastle's ground out of the city centre.
That's what I would use as the threat to get what we want. St James's
Leverage.
Park.
He's just using it as leverage.
Oh, he's just using leverage.
That's what Mike does. He's a tough cookie. He threatens.
That's actually a really good idea. Just use it as leverage.
No, but it also makes perfect financial sense. You know, St James's Park could become an international conference facility as well as a football stadium. And the club are getting the benefit of everything that's there: car parks, franchises, you name it. They've already seen how much money they can make in 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon at the Stack. And that's a bad thing in some ways, because they're saying, hang on, we can take that much money in the Stack, which is a few huts standing next door to the stadium. And by the way, the Stack is taking almost as much in revenue on a match day as the stadium itself does. So they're saying we can get that with 3,000 people in the Stack. Why are we not getting 17 times that with 51,000 people in the stadium? And by moving everything hook, line, and sinker, they do get it. And at no real extra cost to the supporter.
Yeah, it'd be controversial to move it out of Newcastle City Centre.
Absolutely controversial, and it would kill the city centre, which I would hate to happen. But it's where we want to be. Do you want to be a top 6 club or do you not?
Well, obviously, yeah, I want to be a top 6 club. But I don't think you need to leave the city centre to be a top 6 club. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, because I think if you make St James's, you put it out of town, then you get everything around there. People go there earlier, sort of spend longer there. Kind of, like what Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is, I guess. But I think with Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the reason that works is because there's absolutely naff all around that area. The thing with Newcastle is I still think even if you moved it out of the city centre, people have still got their places that they go to before the game. Would people change that? I don't know. For anyone who's been recently or whatever, I'm sure you've got your matches, your pubs that you go to. If St James's Park got moved out of the city centre, would you then go there early, or would you still just go to your places that you like? I'm opening the floor up to anyone on that one, to be fair.
Well, obviously you wouldn't go to the same place if the stadium's at the airport. You wouldn't be going.
Well, I don't know. I still think you probably would, because you just get up on the metro, wouldn't you? I don't know.
But you would still have to leave an hour before the game.
You'd leave an hour before, yeah.
And I would rather be there an hour early and have an hour's extra drinking at the stadium.
You definitely see a big drop off in the town centre.
Yeah.
I think that the usual routines people have, I think, would change dramatically for not everyone. Like you say, I think some people would still have that routine where they'd just leave a bit early, or maybe a lot earlier. But no, I think in general, some people wouldn't have a choice, would they?
No.
You know? So
you're all right. You're all right. Because let's be fair, we have fans from all over the country. We have fans coming from everywhere. So why not? That would be different, wouldn't it? I do like the idea of the bubble wrap though around the ground.
Connor's just sent me a new.
All right, yeah. Oh wow.
So that, as it says in the caption there, that's behind. Well, you saw from the. I think was it that one? You can see where it is.
Yeah. Looks unbelievable, doesn't it? If that's what it actually looked like, it does look unbelievable.
I mean,
and also it would be quite high up on the hill as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It'd still be the cathedral on the hill, yeah.
Yeah. So that would stand out. That would probably be seen from quite a distance away, wouldn't it? About the town. So again, you have that iconic.
Well, you can see on the right there. That's Hadrian Tower on the right.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're as high as anything, probably other than that.
Yeah, fair play. It looks unbelievable. Ian, what's your view on it all?
Ian's dipped out.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, I don't know if he's lost connection or something.
I think he's disgusted with it.
Oh, he's gone. I think he's talking, but he says he's offline.
Oh, okay, we can hear him. Just play it on the radio.
Are you talking? It looks like he's talking. We can't hear you.
No, we can't hear you.
Jump out and jump back in.
Mime.
Yeah.
All right.
We're getting back in a bit.
It's exciting, isn't it? I mean, where's that come from? That illustration? Because it's kind of AI'd it, or
it's a Daily Mail actually.
Daily Mail. Oh well, there's some legs, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks impressive, doesn't it? You can't lie about it.
Can I just put this out there as well, right? With regards to the stadium, if it is a new stadium, if it is going to overlap with the Leazes End, do you think one of the reasons that they might be playing in Murrayfield Stadium, or they're trying to play a pre-season friendly in Edinburgh, is to test the waters a bit, to see if that could be a temporary home while they are rebuilding the new home?
This is a very interesting question. Ian,
how would have to stick a few more trains on.
Yes.
Yes.
I will. I will go quick to catch up. I love that new stadium. I want a new stadium, not a revamp of St James's Park. The more seats we can build, the better chance I've got of getting a season ticket. All you entitled season ticket holders can fuck right off if you just want to stay in St James's Park. Win, you're in my generation where we've had 2 or 3 different stadiums, really. You know, people didn't like the updates
Well,
that were coming
I
on.
mean,
We
you
shut
say,
down for
that,
season
but
after season.
you say that, but we've always been at St James's Park.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same location, isn't
Yeah.
it?
See,
But you talk to Kev. Kev doesn't want anything to change at St James's Park because that's all he knows. Whereas we've seen it grow to that from
oh yeah.
the
I
shed
mean,
that it was
again,
back in
I
the
was
early
when they
70s.
built the stand in '73. I was over the moon because I could get a season ticket, which you
Yeah.
couldn't. You know, a seat season ticket.
Yeah.
Which you couldn't get. There were like getting a season ticket in the West Stand, which was where the only seats were, was like it is today. Trying to get a season ticket anywhere.
Impossible.
Impossible.
Fair yeah, fair enough. They're opening a waiting list actually on Monday, which I'm going to join.
Play
but
football
I've got
whilst we're building it.
chance, but yeah.
Where do we play football whilst we're building
I
it?
didn't they say Murrayfield or something?
Well,
There's
that's exactly what Peter's
That's
just
what
saying.
Peter
He's
said,
saying
yeah.
that
Yeah, that's what you said. Sorry.
we're talking about playing a friendly at a pre-season friendly this season at Murrayfield, and they're wondering whether they're doing that just to test the logistics, I suppose, of doing that.
We'll keep Joe Linton's shots between the posts, I guess, at least.
Well, there is a station right at Murrayfield, and it would be, it wouldn't be beyond the realms of fantasy for to stick trains on, specifically non-stop trains from Newcastle to Murrayfield.
Yes, but it would have to. It's such a logistical nightmare. It is such a logistical nightmare. That the way it'd work is you would have to put on. They'd have to agree a deal to get on loads of extra trains consistently for whenever the times are, because we could have European games, night matches. You're going to need consistent, constant trains coming back and forth. It'd probably have to be at a discounted rate as well. You can't be getting people to fork out whatever the train would cost to get there as well for home games at Murrayfield. I do think that is a genuine concern, though, where we're going to play if we are going to do what that map shows, where you've got to knock down essentially a quarter of St James's Park to build the new ground.
Well, if you saw the Bondi bot about probably 18 months ago, Bondi bot did a YouTube video whereby what they did was they built 3/4 of the new stadium.
Yeah.
And then when that 3/4 was built, only then did they knock down what would be the Leazes End now. So and the other three sides of the stadium, the existing stadium, was still in use. And so you were only without 25% capacity for the period of time that it took to complete the new stadium and get switched over.
Well, I think that's the only way. It's the only way it work. I think. No, go for it.
Sorry, just to get the ball back if it went out for a goal kick, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
take a while. Luckily, we're going to multi-ball system, so it's all right.
Might need to hire a few more ball boys. Yeah.
Jumping around it as a building site, getting the ball
especially
back.
with the new throw-in regulations in terms of time taken.
Oh yeah.
But mind you, right, the question then is, what would you do for the fans who originally sat in that stand? Are you saying that they would keep the stadium open with the three remaining sides? So what would happen to the season ticket holders?
I presume that'd be a ballot or someone.
Well, yeah, that side would be the new Gallagher, because if you look at the way the map is, that would be the new Gallagher, because that's the closest. Because that would be the south stand. So what's the Leazes stand now becomes the new Gallagher essentially. So that's where you would be without.
2 secs, Jack, please. I've been.
No, go for it. No, go for it.
We've got Wazza there. Super chat saying, Mr. Mackay, beware. Will you spray your delay spray? Be careful where you spray your delay spray, I think is what he's saying. And Ian's missed that because he's not here. Got it. Alex Matthews scored a screamer versus QPR 4-2. Sheffield Wednesday, I think that was.
Yeah, I think it was.
Sheffield Wednesday, I think the one you're thinking of.
I think it was Sheffield Wednesday.
And he's saying it's much higher, so you can see Sunderland from there. Cheers, was.
So what will it be? 67,000 in this new stadium? Is that what they're saying? They're hinting at capacity.
Yeah, I believe so. I think that David Hopkinson was saying that he wanted to add between 15 and 20,000 extra.
Be nice to sneak 70, wouldn't it? Because I think the club record is what, 68,300 something.
Yeah,
Around that.
19,
So just to sneak it,
27.
sneak it above that would be quite nice. But how does that compare? Like if you go around the Premier League now, because obviously Sunderland have done some work on their stadium, and Man United, I think they've got plans.
Man United are going up to
100.
Man United going 100,000.
Even 100.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So,
but Tottenham, for example, Tottenham 62.
yeah, it'd be the second. It'd be the second biggest in the Premier League.
West Ham are pretty up
And
aren't they?
Yeah, that's 61.
Yeah.
60, yeah.
And Anfield's now touching 60.
Anfield's like 60. Anfield's like 62 now as well.
62.
'cause,
Is it?
yeah. It is now. Yeah. So it'd be the second biggest stadium in the Premier League. It would be because the Emirates is 60,000, Tottenham 62,000.
Yeah.
So at 70,000, you're the second biggest stadium in the Premier League. I don't know what Ellen Road's going up to. I don't know what Villa Park's going up to, but I know that there's work being
Birmingham
Sellers.
City, like you said, Birmingham City going to be 50 something.
City, yeah, City's at 55,000.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
mad,
City are going up.
Yeah, so that's
Ian,
going up.
Ian, while you are away, was a super chat. Mr. Mackay, beware where you are spraying your spray delay.
You can't read, Win, can you? I read it. So I got it.
Oh, yeah,
I don't get it though.
No,
Thanks, Wazza.
No one gets it.
We're hoping
I will heed your words.
we're
Wazza.
relying on you on that one. Ian.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm always careful.
5K. I mean, that's pretty exciting though, isn't it? If it does go up a little bit, 70
got
odd.
to.
I mean, you're
it's really
against
exciting.
something bigger, aren't you? Like you think you said 65 win. I think that was your kind of ballpark. You didn't want it to go too big because there'd be empty seats. That was your argument.
I definitely have
I'm
that.
with that as well.
I have that argument, yeah. But I think 70 would be fair.
70 would be
If you've got 70 with 5,000 empty seats,
yeah,
that's not as bad as 80 with 15,000 empty seats.
yeah, true.
Yeah, I just don't really want any empty seats, to be honest. But one thing I am worried about actually with the empty seats thing is if we have a season like this, because there was loads of tickets for the Brighton game. I saw on the day of the match, there was loads of tickets for the Brighton game. There was not much interest in that. I do wonder if, you do expand it, we continue to struggle maybe. Would the interest be there as much as it is? Especially, I think it's more sort of do with the price of tickets, to be brutally honest. I mean, like, I think if the Brighton game had been like 20 quid, I don't think there would have been any issue. But I don't know what price the Brighton game was in the end, but I assume it was over £50. So people can't necessarily fork that out all the time. So there is that. But I think that this is, again, I think you all make really good points about, like, look, it's great we've got the plans in place. It's time for some just action now. This all looks great, looks brilliant. But it's time for a decision. And again, PIF left the Mafton Hall meeting and they're still undecided. Well, what more?
Can I ask, Jack?
Yeah, go for it.
What is stopping? Where it's built like slightly on and it just cuts in. What's wrong with moving it back 100 yards?
What? Oh, so
we're going to have to buy all of that land anyway.
Yeah.
Just shift it back so it doesn't need you to.
So I
be
think
knocking the Leazes end down to finish it.
So I think the reason they're doing that is purely just a bit like Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where they wanted some of it to be still White Hart Lane. It just is purely a kind of a spiritual thing, really, more so than anything. So that it's still part of St James's Park.
You just have to lift the old gates up and move them up.
Yeah, simply because they can't. Where it is, they can do nothing with the East Stand.
Yeah. Oh no, they can do nothing with the East Stand St James's Park. Yeah, I know.
So if you're gonna, there's no way you can. You've got to literally move the whole lot because you can't expand the East Stand with Leazes Terrace being there.
No, but Win, what I'm meaning is where the proposed new site is. Obviously, the equivalent of the Gallagher cuts across where the Leazes End is now. But can you not just move that footprint back 50 yards or something so that you don't interfere with the existing St James's Park being used? Do you
So
know what I
literally,
mean?
so you
So you
what
could
you
use
mean?
St James's Park and you build
Yeah.
it right next door to it.
Yeah.
So you
Uh,
finish and you start pulling the thing down, and we start in the next one the next season.
I get
Because
what you
otherwise,
mean. I get what you mean. Because
But
yeah,
the new stadium will be almost as wide as it is long, as opposed to the current site, which is much longer than it is wide.
yeah.
So you couldn't like just move the if I get it back up again. Wait a minute.
yeah, when you haven't got what I'm talking about at all, mate. You haven't. I'm sorry, Jack.
Here we go.
I see he's more of a
He's got the
three-dimensional thinker.
he's got and he's right. So this, yeah, I know what you're on about.
You see,
So you're on
that,
about
that,
Keep on pointing
that,
us,
that
Harvey.
distance there,
yeah.
oh, which is not shown now. You can't see me cursor, but the width of the yellow stadium is much
Yes.
broader than the width of the current St James's Park. So if you move it around, that whole east stand would be over where it says listed buildings.
You're not talking about moving the
No,
existing
I know
stadium.
he's on
It's
about
not
he's on
fucking
about the new
Thunderbirds, Win.
ground.
You see the yellow footprint,
Yes.
right? Imagine you put your finger in the middle of that and you drag it 10 o'clock an inch and you move where the footprint is cutting across the Leazes end so they're actually just touching the Leazes end. Now I see that there's a road with some houses there which we're going to destroy, but we're already doing that with a load of buildings in the middle there anyway.
No,
There's a
yeah,
lot
no.
of grass
There's
after
no
that.
there's no buildings north of St James's Park. In other words, as you're looking at that to the top and left of St James's Park, there's no buildings there at all.
Right, well, that's what I mean. Why the hell are they building it where they're going to take that corner out of the existing St James's Park?
Right. What
If they
what
move it
there is there
50
is a lake that you can't quite see in the.
If you can't see it, then it's not going to affect what I'm saying. You could move it west up Barrack Road to the edge of the screen, and it doesn't cut across
Ah,
St James's
right, I see
Park.
what you mean.
Why overlap with St James's?
You can play
Right.
St James's
So
Park.
So
hang on,
you
Win,
want to
then
move
just
you
move
want
it
to
to
move
the
north,
stadium.
moving the whole
Win.
thing
Bit like
northwest.
Sim City.
Win,
By
have you
about
just
50
worked
yards.
out? You just worked out that's what he was talking about.
Move the whole thing northwest.
Northwest 50 yards.
Yeah, so that it doesn't
That's
overlap.
all. But I can't see if this is
Did everyone-
possible. What they're saying, they're just making a huge bloody problem to me.
Can I just
Logically,
ask?
if you moved
can
it
I
that
just-
way, you don't have that problem.
Can I just ask Dex and Peter? Did you understand what Ian was on about?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, you wonder
10
why
o'clock
it's
part
overlapping.
that got Win.
There's
Actually.
no. Well,
Not
they've
used to
got
the
any answer.
24-hour analog clock.
That was so funny. Right, I see your point. Yeah, no, exactly. That's not bad. It's not bad. It's actually a really valid point because there is that idea again of if we do have to knock down a bit of the leaders, where do we play for what would be a season? Where do we play? I think Murrayfield is
Middlesbrough.
way too far away. Middlesbrough, I know, but Sunderland. Let Sunderland let us share the ground.
Have to
Surely we
do
can
that.
do something.
Sunderland let us share
That's
the
the ground
ground.
share.
Not going to happen.
The ground share at the stadium are like you'd have to do it.
Darlington. What's their attendance? 8,000.
You know what, Darlington, right? That arena, that's empty. 25,000 people in that.
25,000 exactly.
Aye, cram everyone in that arena for a
Have a
season.
few standing.
Yeah. Gateshead, just build a load of temporary stands.
Well, this is
Aye,
the other alternative that's been proposed, by the way. You know,
Yeah.
in Qatar for the World Cup, they built
Yeah.
the whole stadium out of containers.
Stadium, yeah.
The whole stadium, and there's no reason that I can see why they couldn't put up a temporary stadium on the town moor. And you know, it's
Yeah.
going to be there for whatever 2 years, 3 years while the project's completed. That to me is utopia. You
Yeah.
stay where you knock St James's Park down now as it stands. You build a new stadium in a slightly different footprint there, with the increased capacity and everything that we want. That stadium effectively moved into where St James's Park is now, in a flat pack stadium on the town moor. Perfect sense to me.
We got IKEA in.
Yeah, yeah.
IKEA are going to be the architects, right? They can sort it out. You know what?
They can sponsor it.
Hey, look, yeah, they can. They actually can. What an advert that would be for IKEA, by the way. These are all fair points. This is something that is going to have to be sorted out once anything is actually finally announced, which comes on to the point of the training ground. So Craig Hope says that it's going to be announced in the very near future. The £200 million training ground. I would like to know what the very near future is, but that is what. Hang on, you just mocked this up here. What's about? Oh no, it's the Qatar Stadium, right? Cool. There you go.
That's the Qatar Container Stadium.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Which is no longer there.
Yeah. Qatar is a desert, though. There's a bit more space.
Yeah, well, the town was a desert. In terms of there's nothing there now. It would be exactly the same when we left it, a green field as it is now.
There's the Newcastle University accommodation away. Can't ignore that. There's the cows as well. Don't forget about the cows. No, I know what you mean. It's a fair point, actually.
It makes the most sense. Really.
It does. It actually does.
Yeah, you think of like other stadiums you mentioned.
What, the mighty win making sense? Surely not.
This time. No, but like, Darlow and Borough, the capacity is just not big enough. You've got Sunderland, which logistically makes sense. But
imagine
we know that wouldn't happen. You know, we know that.
Thus spake the wishy-washy kid.
If they
culturally impossible.
Yeah. If they let us do it, right? Can you imagine? Have you seen the Simpsons movie when the entire town come to the Simpsons house with pitchforks and torches? That would be the Sunderland fans outside the Stadium of Light. if it was announced that Sunderland and Newcastle are going to share the Stadium of Light.
Yeah, the police
We've already got a bar there that's painted in black and white, have we not?
Well, we do have that as well. We do have that. That's what I'm saying, you know.
We've got Wazza there saying, I'd like to see it before I cop it. In other words, he'd like to see the new stadium built before he pops his
I would as well.
I was going to ask whether you thought that a definitive move forward on the stadium was going to be announced before Manchester City's 115 charges get decided.
Well,
but it's the same bloody timescales, isn't it? Really,
that's getting announced in the very near future as well. So honestly, that's gone so quiet.
In the very near future, I know.
Yeah,
I know, but you know,
quiet.
Was I saying a flat pack stadium? Imagine all the screws and the fixings.
I'll help. If you need a hand, I'll go and have it.
Either that or Murrayfield are the two only options that make sense to me.
I get that, but Murrayfield's such a logistical. I think it's just a logistical nightmare. I don't know how you get the fans there. I really don't.
Even that would be tricky.
Think about getting away fans there as well, like Bournemouth or something. Like Southampton, yeah. It's already hard enough getting Newcastle.
Away fans already think Newcastle's at the end of the year.
They do actually think
they've got to go an extra hour and a half in the train.
They do actually think it's Scotland, don't they? Yeah. So yeah.
If they threw up one of these container stadiums, that would be a global story. The whole of world football would be reading about Newcastle United and seeing how it worked.
Putting up
it would completely revolutionise how new stadiums get put up. I think that's a fabulous idea.
And the technology is already
take it down
there.
And it's
actually
take it down and it's not destroying anything. You could put it up in the middle of the town moor, but then of course you've got to get everybody there.
Well, I think that believe it or not, the biggest hurdle to doing that is sanitation, by all accounts.
Oh yeah,
the drainage, the sewerage and drainage requirements. The water supply is not a problem, but the drainage is a super problem.
Didn't even think about that.
You've got 50, well, 60, well, whatever. I suppose they could make it 40 or something. But anyway, thousands of people all doing that stuff at the same time.
Just also, right, put this out there. Do you think one of the reasons why there's been such a delay on this is because maybe behind the scenes there has been discussions with regards to either the terrace buildings or even Leazes Park, which obviously is going to be very tricky to build on there. I mean, hopefully if that's what they decide, hopefully they can do it. But do you think that's one of the reasons why it's dragging on so long? Because there's probably discussions that we don't know about, we're not privy to.
I'm sure there
Yeah, to get around all these issues, because it is a monumental kind of project, isn't it? Really, to jump through these hoops.
It's about, is it not 18 months since they appointed? I'm trying to think of his name. Cunningham is ringing a bell as their planning coordinator.
Can't blame Jack.
I think it's something to do with love.
Or Nicholson. Nicholson Cunningham. Let me just see if I can find
Nicholson Cunningham.
Yeah,
he's a property developer.
Smuggling around here.
A property developer.
Was it McKay, or
No. He's a property developer in the northeast with extensive ties and relationships with the city council. So that was one of the reasons, allegedly, why he was brought onto the board.
Yeah.
In the capacity that he was brought on, and we've heard virtually nothing about him now. If he's still there, he's not getting paid for doing nothing. So it could be that's what he's been beavering away at in the background, but unfortunately they're not allowed to publicise any of it.
I think Nicholson does ring a bell. Actually, I think that might be the name. You might be right on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be fair, on that one, but it's interesting either way, isn't it? And I think the main issue we do have is generally we can't do what Tottenham Hotspur did, where they just jumped into Wembley.
Yeah,
you know, there's nowhere. And by the way, Spurs fans hated Wembley by the end, so I can't imagine how much we'd hate going to Murrayfield by the end. I think that would be getting to the point where it is absolutely pissing people off, to be brutally honest. So the solution almost does increasingly feel like you would have to actually do this flat pack stadium idea. Genuinely, it's not the worst idea I've heard by a long way. It's better than going to Darlington. It's better than going to Middlesbrough. It's better than going to... Another one I heard floated about was going to Leeds, Ellen Road, but again, like, it's like another logistical nightmare. Realistically, are they going to share with another Premier League team?
You're not talking about 4,000 fans. No parking spaces there. You're talking.
You're talking 50. Well, 50,000. Exactly.
I've been to Leeds. It's a nightmare. The parking around there. Yeah, would be a tough one, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, because Allen Road's another ground that I love that ground, but it's just nowhere near the city centre. It's a nightmare. From the train station, it takes forever as well. So.
And Kingston Park's tiny, isn't it?
Kingston Park is tiny. There's no chance. You could hire up a few temporary stands, maybe, but.
Yeah,
I don't know what you could actually do. Yeah, I don't think you could even hire up any temporary stands because, like, it's already got its stands there. So what do you do with them?
Roger Thornton is the guy I was thinking of.
Roger Thornton. Oh well, you were close.
He served simultaneously as head of property at Motcombe Estates, an estate management company managing global portfolios for the Reuben family. And the crucial council connection, his primary tactical responsibility is utilising his deep established relationship with Newcastle City Council chiefs to smoothly coordinate the upcoming public unveiling of stadium plans and successfully guide the complex planning application through local government approvals.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they've been chipping away to try and persuade them to try and get permission in basically removing the terrace buildings. I think that would have been the first thing they would have tried to do, behind the East Stand.
I don't think they can.
Yeah, but that's maybe there's just no way around it. Yeah,
I think they ideally would just stay at St James's Park, would build the East Stand up, would build the Gallagher up, and that'd be it. But if you can't do anything with the East Stand, I saw one idea floated was that you would build the East Stand, another tier on it, and the whole back would be glass to ensure that there's natural light getting through to those listed buildings. That's one thing I saw was a potential idea. Yeah, but how much? But apparently that would cost almost as much as a new stadium. So I don't know.
Roger Thornton was appointed, as I suspected, 18 months ago, 7th of October, 24.
Yeah.
Now, there's nobody telling me that he's been getting paid for doing nothing. and yet you haven't heard the fact that nobody knew his name or anything. Means he's still there, and he's not getting paid for doing nothing. So there's work going on behind the scenes, and I would love it to be demolished. Jesus Terrace.
Yeah, I know they're listed buildings, but I'm just thinking it would be unprecedented. But you know, with the Saudis, with PIF, obviously they're very, very ambitious. So I would imagine they were like trying.
Are
to
they very
explore
ambitious?
Money talks.
That's what the.
It's a drop in the ocean to them, isn't it? But still, it might be an investment that they and ah about a little bit, because they might say, well, there's other areas we can put that money. I don't know how they feel about the football team. It's mixed signals, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah.
You'd hope they'd be ambitious. They don't want to see their purchase reach its maximum potential, surely.
What's that saying? How about they make Gateshead International Stadium truly big?
Well, yeah, I mean, they could do, I don't know, I've seen Old Trafford Cricket Ground, but it is that massive, weird temporary stand that wobbles around in the wind. Just hoy a few of them up. I mean, it'd be terrible if you're sitting at the back. Absolutely terrible. But it might be an option. I see Phil's put an interesting point here. Saying the Aviva Stadium in Dublin had to have one end glass due to residential light. And if you look at the Aviva Stadium, it's like really big and then it just like sinks down at the bottom. It does look really cool, actually. Look, my preference is to stay St James's Park anyway, as long as you can actually find a way to expand it somehow. And if you could do that with the glass on the east stand, then I think that would be the option. But because I think again, I just feel like this issue with actually we're going to have 2-3 seasons potentially playing away, and I've got no idea where we're going to be playing, how we'll get to it. It's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare. It's at Barcelona, obviously, the new camp. They were expanded. They've moved in. They've moved back in now. But they've played the last 2 seasons at the Olympic Stadium, which is just on the hill at the top of the city. We don't have anywhere that is in such a is the perfect size and we can just easily move into. It's just not. No. It's just not a thing. We don't have that. We've got nowhere close to us. We've got no options for it. So if there's a way we can avoid building a new ground and instead expanding St James's Park and avoiding all of that nonsense, that would be nice. But I don't know if there is, truthfully.
Yeah. The more you
put one of these, put your container stadium on the Gateshead International Stadium footprint. Ground share with Gateshead for them to play at St James's Park for the season while they're throwing that up. And we'll both play at the container stadium. And we do our bit. And then you replace the container stadium after 3 or 4 years with a nice little 15,000 stadium for Gateshead as a thank you.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. That the problem. Do you know what? Actually, the Gateshead National Stadium, it's actually hard to get to. Like it's not. It is on the Fenham bypass. It's on the but the metro stops nowhere near.
Well,
it's nowhere near.
200 yards away.
Nowhere near. They keep calling it. Oh, the Gateshead Stadium Metro. It's like, where is it? Where is it? It's not right. Okay, whatever. It's actually. It'd be fine to play there. It would be fine to play there. It'd be better than going to Edinburgh, Christ. But there's a reason that Gateshead have struggled a lot at that ground because it isn't actually ideally placed at all. But yeah,
the trouble is there's no car park. No. There's plenty of space next to it, funnily enough.
There is a lot of space next to it. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, that Ian. I think that. But these are things that they've got to be thinking about. But I've just not heard anything
Gateshead would jump
about it.
Gateshead got told they couldn't get into the
playoffs
because the ground wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
So if they end up in 2 or 3 years with a football league ready stadium, surely they'd jump at the chance. I mean, it'll be inconvenient for them, sure. But I mean, there's a big price for them at the end of it, isn't it?
Yeah, that was outrageous when Gateshead got denied. That was ridiculous. But yeah. New stadium. Oh, there you go. Well, apparently you're showing your screen win, but I can't say anything as of yet.
It'll be there.
We've got an orange marker on this one. You can see.
Yeah, I can see in a minute. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
So that's good.
There we go.
Right,
okay, yeah.
And there's plenty space next door to you could build a container park or something there.
But that's the college. That's like the sports bit of the college.
That's the training
Yeah.
and fitness centre.
Yeah.
That's Felon Bypass for anybody.
There's
who
Felon
knows where.
Bypass. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just out of interest, that's the metro station there.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah. There's all this there's all this wasteland behind there. I know this is all wasteland. You know, this stuff like
Yeah, all
sort
that
of
there.
all
Yeah,
that to the far side. That is all wasteland because that was where they were going to build the WI thing, wasn't it? Until that got scrapped.
well, no, the way I was going to be there.
I'll be further down. Fair enough.
You know, there's the Millennium Bridge. This was all going to be the way I say.
Yeah. Well, it was a good idea that. Yeah, there's a lot of wasteland around there that is just sort of like.
Well, they talked about putting the St James's Park there, but of course,
Yeah.
everybody was up in arms about it going across the
river.
The other side.
Yeah.
Would never do.
No, I know.
You could have it on the river, couldn't you? Someone mentioned that. I think Wazza mentioned that.
Oh, that was
And
Mobile stadium.
That was a
Floating
truly
on the
weird
river.
concept. No, building actually a concrete bridge right across the river in front of the Millennium Bridge. The stadium literally on top of the river.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be
That'd
underwater in 20 years, so I wouldn't bother with that. It's like, forget that one.
That's all right.
No, but there is all these like, but again, they've got to be thinking about all this. Like, as a serious point.
Well, the whole point is
we've got to be thinking about all this.
This is what they've had to have been thinking about.
Yeah.
So you can understand why it isn't. Listen, I'm saying you can understand. The only reason they're having to look at any of these possibilities, permutations, is because they're being so inflexible on the Leazes Terrace and on Leazes Park. So that is the reason that all these stupid, really alternatives are being explored. And like I say, I would just put my foot down, me, and say this is what's going to happen. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at the end of the day they would take it.
They would if you threatened to take it out of
city centre.
Out of the city centre and put it near the
it would kill the city centre.
What? Put it near the airport, or something like that.
Yeah, anywhere up there.
Yeah. Well, obviously, which would be right next to where the training ground's meant to be.
Like Northumberland County Council would bite their hands off. Ooh, come here.
Yeah. They would, yeah. Honestly, they really would.
What's I saying there?
I think it means moving that container stadium to Gateshead.
It would solve the
problem. Wouldn't be a problem because Gateshead's full of shit anyway. Oh, sorry, I'm from Gateshead. I can say that.
I would do that one.
Did any of you think when PIF that they would invest in the infrastructure of the city a bit more?
of the northeast? I think that was just sent to get it through. To be honest,
Yeah,
just like,
but
we'll invest. To be fair, I mean, Newcastle is still one of the cities that I see the most happening in. Like, obviously, I don't live there anymore, but whenever I return home, there's a new bar or a new restaurant or something. Seems to be always constantly evolving, to be fair. I think it's a city on the rise anyway. I don't think the Saudis got anything part to play on it. What is Neil on about? Can we not just merge with Sunderland to have a northeast powerhouse and play at the Stadium of Light?
Of course. Why didn't I think of that?
Well, do that, aye? Let's just forget St James's Park.
I had one condition: as long as we're playing red and white stripes.
Yeah. God. Well, we did originally play red and white stripes, so yeah, why not? Go back to our roots. Yeah, it's all really interesting stuff.
I don't know whether Kurt Henning's in the know, but he's saying Gallagher expansion plus expansion of the Leazes in Milburn stand. The Grade 2 listed buildings will be demolished and we'll build a new East stand. Well, I hope you are right.
Isn't Kurt Hennig Mr. Perfect? That wrestler Mr. Perfect's called Kurt Hennig, wasn't it?
Yeah, that is utopia.
That would make so much sense. That would make so
Is he
much sense.
perfect then?
Does anyone even live? Does anyone live in the listed buildings or not? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
The listed bill. It's students.
yeah. It's students, isn't it? Yeah,
It's not undergraduates. What do they call them?
postgrad. No,
Postgrads.
graduates or postgrads or like
So the
masters.
the ones that are doing their masters. And,
Oh yeah, masters. Yeah, postgrads. Yeah.
postgrads.
Yeah.
And lecturers.
Yeah.
So out of the 283 listed buildings in Newcastle, there are probably few other than the people that see it on match days. There are probably fewer people see that listed building than any other listed building in the city,
Yeah.
apart from the people that live in them.
Yeah, but if they,
Ridiculous,
I know, but if they're listed, there's not a lot. They are.
I don't know about you, but
protected a lot.
I
aren't
can
they?
feel a fire coming on somehow.
Shouldn't have
Or
said
a
that.
bo- or a
Of
bomb.
course.
Just
Can
make sure
you
you
remember-
No.
Can you remember in the
Oh.
90s when John Hall wanted Newcastle? He wanted to create like a Newcastle sporting club,
Yeah.
emulate like Barca, and Rob Andrews was
Formula
was
One
the.
team and that.
I remember Rob Andrews talking about it, who was with the rugby with the Falcons.
Yeah.
And basketball
team.
as well, wasn't it?
He wanted to kind of combine all of the different sports into one sort of like
That's right.
enterprise, if you like, and have different stadiums or maybe
Yeah, well,
one
he
main
bought the
stadium.
ice hockey team and the basketball team.
Yeah, but that obviously that would have been interesting.
Yeah, because Barcelona have got that. Yeah, it's quite. It's interesting, that Barcelona thing. Actually, they've got like basketball teams, rugby teams. They all play in the Catalan stripes as well.
The Eagles and the Vipers.
Yeah.
hockey
Oh yeah,
team
the Vipers. I
The
remember
hockey
them.
team was the Vipers. The Eagles was
Yeah.
the basketball team.
Eagles are great. Actually, they're one of the best. They're probably the best sporting side in Newcastle. Just no one cares about basketball.
Yeah. Is
They've
Fab
won.
still there? Fab Fontescue
Oh,
or whatever.
yeah. I think he was for. I don't know if he is anymore, but he was a few years ago. Definitely.
He was their American coach. He
Yeah,
won
the
it,
American
yeah.
coach. Yeah, the American coach. Yeah, the most successful team. Well, after the most successful team in the Northeast, actually. But
Wow, that's crazy.
who cares about basketball? Genuinely, that's the
No,
problem.
anybody?
No one cares. It's like if the Falcons were good, who cares? No one cares. They may as well.
They were for a spell, of course.
Yeah, they may as
had
well.
Johnny Wilkinson, didn't they?
Oh yeah, I mean that was like when we had Michael Owen though. It's like
Yeah.
It's the Red Bull now.
Yeah, Red Bull. Yeah, they are Red Bull. They're under Red Bull. Yeah,
Aye.
Red Bulls, Newcastle. Or whatever it's
Oh,
called,
right.
yeah.
So come on, I get Klopp.
I'm not sure it works like that.
I think that's one of the few managers you would take over Eddie, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
One of few. Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
One of 5.
yeah, exactly. Should we have a look ahead to West Ham then? Why not?
We better.
Actually, talk about Gordon a little bit. Oh,
Ooh.
talk about Gordon. Talk about West Ham. What
But I feel like we're all kind of like. I get the feeling the consensus is it's time for Gordon to go, but the fee,
it's just
the fee has to be right, doesn't it?
Yeah, so that was what I was thinking actually. What we're thinking of the fee. So Bayern Munich are looking to only pay 60 million. Newcastle have set the price at 75 million. Now, varying reports on agreeing personal terms. So my colleagues are reporting that they have, Gordon has agreed personal terms with Bayern Munich. So that's Ben Jacobs and Alex Crook. And they wouldn't say anything if they didn't have any knowledge of it. Craig Hope's denied it. Lee Ryder's denied it as well. But as far as I'm aware, from what I understand, the personal terms between the two were agreed. It's now about agreeing a fee, obviously. I'm leaning towards I think it gets done before the World Cup. Because I think Bayern don't want him to. I don't think Bayern want him to go to the World Cup and do well, and then his fee goes up. So I think it gets done before the World Cup. I think Newcastle are happy for it to be done before the World Cup. And I think it gets done for £65 million plus £5 million in add-ons. Now,
Jack, can
would we take that?
what about making up the difference with a 21-year-old buy-in reserve?
A 21-year-old buy-in reserve. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
One more fancy. We've got so many players to replace in this squad.
Yeah, that's true.
We do.
And if they're going to give us 60 million, or they want to give us 65 million, let's say we're wanting 75, they're saying 60. We'll say, all right, then give us 60 plus this lad.
Yeah, I'd probably take that. What as maybe one of the right backs or backup left back, something like that, because they're positions that we need.
I don't know. I'm sure we've scout. I mean, there's so many scouts out there now.
Or young winger, maybe
buy-ins, reserves every week.
Yeah, there is.
So we'll find someone worth.
It's not a bad shout. So would you take that then, 60 million and a player, or 65 million and plus say 5 million in add-ons?
Depends
or
on the player.
I want a little bit more.
I would, if it's cash only, I'd want 70 million, because I think
Yeah.
I'm only judging it by our terrible negotiations for Elanga and Vissa. I think 60 million, that's about what we paid for them. That doesn't seem like enough. And his contract, what? 20
Yeah, you are right, actually.
So I think we just got to. I think he's 25 years old, England's first choice left winger, contracted for 4 or 5 more years. I think we've got to be looking to get premium amount for him, really.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I agree with Ian. I think if we can do a trade here and there with our business this summer, it just helps us, because we're probably going to have to get 7-8 players maybe this summer. It's going to be a busy summer, and we've struggled to get 3 or 4 in previous windows. So yeah, it might be a good move to try and bring in a few of their backup options.
Like his Steak Bakes agrees, he's saying we need to trade money plus players.
I wouldn't mind us doing that with Trafford as well, if there's a way of doing that.
Yes,
all I'm saying is,
they can have Pope.
Whatever happens, I don't want them hanging on for a month, haggling over 5 million, take a £5 million hit and get the deal done.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
At the very start of the window, so we know where we stand and we can get on with our rebuild.
I agree.
The thought of them haggling to get an extra, okay, they might get it eventually, but if by then we've missed out on, as we did this season with the Isaac saga, last season with the Isaac saga, we cannot have a repeat.
We were too slow out of the blocks in that window, and I think if you think about his wages, isn't Gordon supposed to be on like 160 grand a week or something?
Yeah, he's one of the highest earners. Absolutely.
So yeah, we're bumbling around for 3 months to the end of the window. Then that's about £2 million, something like that. So you kind of, you're going to lose that in wages anyway. So get him out a bit early. Obviously, get the fee that you deserve, that you think he's worth. Don't undersell him, but let's not be quibbling. If they're offering 70 and we want 75, there must be a way that you can break bread on that.
Yeah, Peter, where do you stand on it?
I think 65 plus 5 million add-on for Anthony Gordon sounds good to me. I think, like Win says as well, get it done early. I think it's really good that they've came in for him now and they've came in early. So, and I think it does feel inevitable. I think when a club like Bayern Munich get involved, it's only a matter of time. So, obviously, Gordon would you'd imagine, want to go there. And also, the added bonus is that you're not selling him to a Premier League rival as well. So he's not going to come back to haunt you next season or whenever. So I would snap your hands off at 65 plus 5 million. I think get it done early. And I think they'll want to get it done. I think Gordon will look at the World Cup and probably want to get it settled before the Premier League season ends, really. I'd imagine that's probably what he's wanting.
I think.
Yeah.
No, you make a good point. However, what I will say about the coming back to haunt you, he's done really well with Horton Everton, hasn't he? It's like playing with 10 men.
Actually, yeah.
every time he plays
Everton. He looks like a nervous wreck, doesn't he, against those guys?
He's only missed one. He's only missed one penalty for us, which is at the Gladys Street end.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, lads, just let anyone else take it. Nick, come on, Nick, you take it. Honestly,
I was absolutely furious that he took it.
You knew he was going to miss.
The risk involved was so great. The pressure, everything about him taking that penalty was wrong. And I said so at the time, when we're doing the comms, And post-match, it was one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in football to allow him to take the penalty.
Yeah.
However,
I think
I then compared it to Longstaff taking the deciding penalty against
It's Forest.
Forest when
Yeah.
he was under so much,
Mhm.
negative pressure, and he scored, of course. So,
Very nice.
so
Yeah, with Gordon, there was that emotional connection being a Scouser.
yeah.
I think that comes with that fixture. He's got that connection being an Everton lad, Liverpool lad. So that I think, I agree. Every time he played against them, even this season at St James's, he's I don't know, his head
Yeah,
was
he was
didn't look right.
If it goes in that his confidence is sky high and he goes on to have a fantastic game, but if he misses it exactly as what happened, he disappears. His confidence is shot to bits.
It'd be interesting to see how his career goes because if he goes to Bayern Munich, he's not going to be instant first choice in that front three. They've got better players in every position, so he would either be. I'm just wondering if he'd be back up to Kane.
I think that's why they kind of signed him. I think they're seeing him as a player who can play on the left.
That's a lot of money, isn't it, for somebody?
But I think because Diaz is getting on, they probably see Diaz maybe having one more season as like a starter, I guess, and then you've got Gordon in on the left. But in that time, Gordon can just be a versatile attacker, I suppose. I'd be interested to see if he plays on the right for Bayern.
I think he would for Bayern, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Like Kieran Trippier for England.
I'll be interested on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The thing
think
is, if he's on the bench, he is gonna play every week. He'd come on for one or two.
Yeah,
half an hour or something. Yeah.
So, he just has to do one or two of his cut-ins and put them in the corner, and then the Bayern crowd will be asking for him to get picked from the start.
We've got a Bayern fan. Hello, Maximilian. We've got a Bayern fan watching along.
Lose Elise.
Back up for Kane. We could also lose Elise.
Let's do a trade for Elise.
Can we do a trade, mate? We'll have Elise, like.
He's superb.
Good Abend.
That's interesting. Back up for Kane. Yeah, I mean, what about Jackson then? Is he on his way out? Is what's happening there?
Yeah. They he already didn't reach the required performances needed.
Right, so he's gone back to Chelsea.
Yeah. I think we'll probably be in for him. I think we'll be in for Jackson. Actually,
he's got something, but he's another one whose finishing is terrible. A bit like Nunes. If you're going to get someone like that, get Nunes on a free, I guess, because that's.
Yeah, Nunes on a free is an interesting one. I'd be all over that actually.
I think it's worth a punt because we need so many players. Some have to be free.
His record at St James's Park is impeccable.
Yeah, those finishes against 10 men with 10 men, and I think Harry Wilson on a free as well. I would be thinking about trying to make a move there.
That's a clever move.
Yeah, we've got to have a couple of those, I think.
There's a few people going on about what Neil Charisma's going on about. Anderson might have cost us a few more million with us missing Europe. What a horrendous piece of business selling him instead of Gordon.
You know what? I do want to talk about this because I get it. In hindsight, we look at Anderson and Minter.
Hindsight, isn't it?
Yeah, we look at Anderson and Minter over Gordon going to Liverpool.
And we got Vlachodimos.
And we say, oh, no, look at what we could have had. However, you got to remember that when the Gordon thing happened, he come off the back of his best season. He was brilliant for us in 23-24. He also should have definitely started for England in Euro 2024. Southgate totally misused him. It was embarrassing from Southgate, actually. And then, of course, he gets the potential chance to move to Liverpool. That Newcastle offer Liverpool, by the way, as well. So, as a Liverpool fan, of course, he's like, right, that's a chance to go and play at Anfield is what I've always wanted. And then, of course, it gets pulled away from him. And in the end, we sell Anderson and Minter. And I remember at the time, I was gutted to lose Anderson. I was gutted to lose Minter. But at the time, and I'm pretty sure a lot of it, I'd be surprised, but I'm pretty sure most of the Newcastle fans at the time said, better of the two evils, rather than losing Gordon, who last season was one of the best left wingers in the Premier League. Of course, in the end, it's worked out differently. But we can all say that with hindsight. I think at the time, the club made the right decision. In hindsight, looking back on it. I mean, look, if anyone wants to disagree with that, totally fair enough.
No,
but I'm pretty sure everyone felt the same when it happened.
I disagree slightly.
You're right.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Maybe looking at the trade-offs that we had to do to get the money in, just because we had to sign a Greek goalkeeper we didn't want for 25 million, 23 million.
He'd be the number one next year, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And then we had to get rid of two of our best young players. And Gordon, like you say, just had a sensational year, hadn't he? But I don't know. At the time, I remember thinking, well, I would have been gutted to lose Anthony Gordon as well, but just to lose one player, and we might have been able to bring in a Liverpool player for an inflated fee as well, and I'm sure it would have been better than Vlachodimos. So, yeah, I don't know. At the time, I was a bit like, I was gutted actually, because not so much actually with Anderson. Now Anderson's really blossomed, but
with Minter, yeah.
Minter, I just thought, we needed a right winger, and that was the guy. And actually, there's the knock-on effect that we've ended up with Elanga. And we've ended up with, Ramsey's not a bad player, but we ended up with Elanga because we lost Minty as well, because we would have had 2 right wingers. So it's kind of kicked us a few times that summer window.
That's a fair point.
I'm not sure Anderson would be the player that he is today if he'd stayed at Newcastle. Though.
Well, that's a good point too.
He definitely wouldn't have been. No,
he wouldn't have got the first team.
He would have got the odd game, but
and I think he had leadership and responsibility thrust upon him when he went into Forest, didn't he? And he's really thrived on it. He's a fabulous player now. Probably definitely 100 million midfielder already.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well,
but I don't think we would have. I think it would still have been like Miley in and out, because Eddie wouldn't have gone any further than Tonali, Bruno, and Joe Linton. One of those had to be out of the team.
And you've got to remember, at the start of the season, it was Longstaff, Joe Linton and Bruno. Tonali took a while to get into the team. Of course, he was coming back from his year ban, but even when he was fully fit, he didn't get into the team starting until December, basically. It was that game against Brentford, wasn't it? When we lost 4-2, and then afterwards Tonali came into the team, and it changed everything. Yeah. Neil makes a really interesting point, and I do remember this. Bruno signed a new contract with a £100 million release clause just for that summer. So the club probably thought that was going to activate and that was going to alleviate all the PSR deals. Thank God that didn't happen. Thank God that didn't happen.
So lucky that didn't happen.
Oh, that was how we ended up in the financial hole that we did. Because if you remember Amanda at the time, and she was pretty convinced that Bruno was going to go for 100 million. So she kind of said, well, that'll happen. So we'll not. And then all of a sudden it didn't happen. Thank God it didn't happen.
Thank God it didn't happen.
That left with panicking at the finish.
Yeah.
So just to clear someone up, though, we've got the Bevis is in here saying it was around 50 million with add-ons. I'm pretty sure he's talking about the Gordon fee. Ultimately, Everton get 15% on the sale to buy, and they don't. They only get 15% of any profit.
But it was
if we paid 50 million, they only get 50 million of what we get minus the 50 million.
But it was well documented. It was 45 million, wasn't it? It was 40 plus 5.
Yeah,
40 plus 5.
I don't know if there was any add-ons. I haven't seen that. But
so that's not much. When you actually work it out, say he goes for 75 million, that's 4.5 million. It's not that much. It sounds more than it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
they're getting washers.
And we don't owe that much in the deal, do we? Win? We owe 13 million or something. So
is that what it is on the books? Is it at the moment?
Got a year and a half. We've already amortized 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there you go then. So, look, we can accept he's going, I think. And I think that's fine. It is what it is. He goes. I don't wish him anything bad at all. I've criticised him this season. I think rightfully so. He's deserved criticism this season. He's also provided some great moments. And I hope that on Sunday, which probably will be his last game, I hope he gets a good send-off as well, to be fair.
Yeah. You think he'll get picked?
No, I don't think he will. I don't think he will get picked. So let's have a look ahead then. West Ham, final home game of the season. A season that feels like it's been going on forever. I mean,
it does, yeah.
That first game against Aston Villa feels, I mean, like...
that feels like 3 seasons ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, 3 lifetimes ago.
God.
I was just on a West Ham podcast previewing this before. I predicted a 2-1 defeat, at best a 2-2 draw for us. But Ian is saying he's seen some encouraging signs, so I'm going to open the floor to Ian. Go for it.
I think West Ham they're going to be bags of nerves, aren't they? They're desperate for Chelsea to make the first win in 8 games and beat Tottenham. Absolutely desperate for it. I think they will, by the way.
Yeah, they will.
Go down.
They will.
Because I think they both lose on the weekend, and I think then West Ham have got a home game against Leeds, which they win, which keeps them ahead of Tottenham.
Tottenham got Everton.
Yeah, Everton's not easy.
Yeah, not easy.
No.
Well, we'll see. I know it's been little tiny baby steps. I'm not saying it's all solved and everything, but against Brighton, against Forest, we lined up differently and we played subtly differently. There was a lot. Look at that goal. Passes through the middle, forward passes through the
I
middle.
couldn't
And we had a
believe what I
lot
was
more
watching.
that we were doing like that. And I think it's because I think it was a 4-4-2-3-1 lineup without wingers particularly. Would have been better with Hall on the left to give us some width down there. But I think we went through the middle a lot more, and that's bringing technical players into play. Ramsey was great when he came on. Voltemana got a start, and I think we've danced around it for 2 games and seen little flashes of it. I just think the home game against West Ham, the sun will be out. Everyone will be chuffed to bits because Trips has had a lovely send off from War Flags, maybe. I just think we'll destroy them. I think we'll hammer them.
Really?
Oh,
No
See
pun
what I did there?
intended.
Hammer the hammers.
Yeah.
They're not
Why
so
not?
happy hammers.
Fair.
Wow.
What do you think? What do you think, Peter? You're going with the more negative view like me. Or are you going with it, Ian?
I think it's a really tough one to call. I might have to sit on the fence here, Jack. But no, I think with West Ham, because they are fighting for survival, 2 games to go, that can go either way with a team like that, where you're right that they'll be nervy. I think, if they're under the cosh, if they concede, nerves might get the better of them. But obviously on the flip side, I think they also probably will be coming into this game determined to get something. And I think that first goal is going to be a big one as to whether that we can crush their confidence. But yeah, I mean, I still think there's issues with Eddie Howe. I don't want to dwell on that too much. I think obviously it looks like he's going to be there next season, and I think that is a risk. But I do also try and look at the positives for how things have been tweaked. So 4-4-1-1, and honestly, I thought that was really good to see. And he'd done the same against Forest. I know that was there was a bit too much of the pendulum football going on there. I think with, like Wayne says, the build up was too slow. I think second half especially, but still, at least he's tweaked it. At least he's putting two forwards up there who can link up and who can forge some kind of understanding. So I'm just looking at this in isolation. I think going into next season is a different conversation as to like what the plans should be. But yeah, if he goes for the 2 up front again, then I'd be quietly confident that we can get at least a draw, hopefully a win.
Goal.
Yeah, well,
4 up at half.
I'll
4
put that
up
out
at
there.
half time, like
If
against
you-
Palace last year. We were 4 up at half time.
Callum Wilson is definitely scoring the winner and doing the Macarena at the Gallagher.
Yeah.
well, I can see him definitely scoring the winner. I don't think he'd celebrate. but I can see him
Interestingly,
scoring the winner.
Callum Wilson scored twice for West Ham against Bournemouth in November,
Really?
and only 2 players have ever scored 2 goals against former clubs in the same Premiership season.
Oh,
Chris Wood against Burnley and Newcastle,
that's a surprise.
and Nicholas Anelka against Arsenal and Man City in 2006.
Well, to be fair,
2007.
Anelka played for about 7 Premier
Yeah.
League clubs.
Yeah.
Somebody who's-
But the point I'm making is very rare. So,
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll happen.
But Wilson won't start.
However, West Ham have failed to score in each of their last 3 away games. And the last time they went 4 away games without scoring was back in 2015. So that's a rare event as well. So we
Yeah.
can certainly expect, with the low probability says they will score. We've just got to score a few more.
Also, win. We don't keep clean sheets. So I think there's not
1 clean sheet in the last 14 games.
Wow, what a team! Good defense. Look, I mean, that's the thing. That's the problem. Weak underbelly. Like Ian, I actually appreciate what you're saying. I did see encouraging signs in a lot of ways with the play, but I never felt we were going to win. I just...
You see, I never thought we were going to lose.
I could see a goal, even when we scored, and they had nothing beforehand, Forest. They had nothing. I still thought, you know what? We're going to concede out of nothing, because it's what we do this season. We concede out of nothing. Could Pope do better?
Right.
Yes. So, and then Hall got blamed for the goal. I disagree with, but I understand why people blamed him for it. But he shouldn't be at right back. Is the main point here? It's not his fault that he's at right back. That's my thing.
I think he was at right back on one leg as well.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
And I think
around.
Bruno had ball and chain on each ankle.
Yeah,
he should have come off half an hour earlier.
Yeah, and in game
management, the signs are there. The signs are there, and winning against Brighton, doing well away at Forest, it's a hard game to go and do. I mean, that's the only game in 8 that they haven't won, isn't it?
Do you think Hall will be left?
I'll be honest though, like I want him to be, but what we'll see with Forest is they just come back after getting battered by Aston Villa, battered in the Europa League. They were there for the beating. They were not even remotely on it in any way whatsoever.
They had players missing, didn't they? Gibbs,
they had
White.
players
Gibbs, White, no Murillo,
and like
Murillo,
and they still got a point, and they still got something
frustrating, really.
It was frustrating.
I could see a bit more confidence in some of those Newcastle players, which
made me think of
Bruno will be a bit more match fit.
Yeah.
I thought Ramsey came on and really
Ramsey was
and
brilliant.
He proved it.
He was good. Barnes was good.
Asula's still running around like mad and actually got the confidence to take a few people on. Should have scored. Unlucky not to score with his free kick. I watched that.
By the way, when he stepped
3 or 4 up at half time.
When he stepped up to take the free kick, I was like, "What is going on here? Why is he on the free kick?" Oh, that's why. All right, I didn't know he had that in his locker. Fair play. Fair play. I think Asula's becoming a player that I'd absolutely keep. I think now.
I would too.
But, I'd keep him at this point. I think he's shown more than enough.
There's been a huge turnaround of opinion regarding Asula.
There has.
In terms of should he stay or should he go?
I agree.
I've certainly changed my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I would like
again, could this be something that's a year down the road, 2020 hindsight, saying why didn't we sell him for 30 million when we had the chance? And
you're not wrong.
And the fingers will be out pointing then, saying,
that does happen, but there's something to him, and he's 22, isn't he? 22, 23?
23 now.
He's young enough to be a good player for us, I think. And 30 million now for a striker is not that much, really. But West Ham wise, I think we're going to draw, and I think Tottenham will lose and West Ham will draw, which means Tottenham will have an advantage going into the last game. But would we? It's one of those games now. It's end of the season. What's our motivation going to be? What's the? I think we looked a bit more solid. Lewis Hall's one of my favourite players, but I think we've looked a bit more solid with Byrne at left back, even though I don't think he should be the left back. I think the last 2 games defensively, we've been more solid than we were in the couple of games before that, where we looked all at sea. And Lewis has made a couple of mistakes. I do want him to be our left back, but I just think I can see what the logic has been, that it's been more organised at the back. But I don't want Lewis to play right back. If we're going to play him in the team and play Dan Byrne, then either play with Byrne in for Botman or play with a back 5 with wing backs or something. But just do it. I just don't.
Chow's played right back if you wanted to. Chow should be right back.
Trippier, give him a send off one last game.
Chow needs a rest. The poor
Hall starts right back against West Ham.
So,
Hall,
yeah. My kind of If you're asking us about what I think is going to happen, if I see the team sheet and Hall is right back, then my hopes of getting a win would then decrease quite a bit, because I just think like you lose so much attacking threat from like you would ordinarily get from Lewis Hall if you put him on the left, left back where obviously you would normally play. I would fancy our chances a lot more of beating West Ham.
He's also brilliant defensively, Hall. He's brilliant defensively. He had one bad game against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that's true.
1 bad game. 3 times
in that first half, Peter. 3 times. 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 3 times.
I don't think he's
Yeah, I
brilliant.
think he is. I think 1-on-1 defensively. I mean, he's dealt with Lamine Yamal. He's dealt with Bukayo Saka. He's dealt with some of the best wingers in the world consistently,
Salah never got a kick,
over
did
and
he?
over again. Salah's never had a kick against him. You can't be not brilliant defensively if you don't deal with those
He
players.
is talented defensively. I do think he occasionally strays a bit out of position, but I
Salah
guess because of
killed
his
him.
nature of his game.
What game did Salah kill him in?
Liverpool at home this season.
Oh no, not me. He didn't kill him at all. He wasn't in the game, Salah. Salah wasn't in the game. He did one ball in that got dummied by Szoboszlai and put in by Nguema. That was it. Salah wasn't in that game at all. Hall dealt with him more than well enough. Look,
Absolutely.
Well,
no, fair enough. But
listen, Hall is my player of the season. I love him.
Yeah,
I absolutely love him. But to say he doesn't get skinned and he's brilliant, he's brilliant going forward. Absolutely.
I think he's the best left back in the Premier League, to be honest. But that's
overall, I agree with you.
So because it's both parts of the game.
But I think the reason that, as we've just highlighted, our problems this season, despite the problems we've had up top, our problems have been defensive more than anything else.
The goals
that we've conceded, man, it's stupid.
The goalkeeper, even because obviously we've all blamed Howe this season, rightfully so. But I was saying on Inside the Toon on Tuesday that even if we had a better goalkeeper, we probably got 12 or 12 extra points. Genuinely, 10 or 12 extra points if we had a better goalkeeper, discounting the mistakes from Howe which he's made. But I don't know how
the other day. A good goalkeeper will get you.
Yeah, good goalkeeper.
Look, 6-8 points a season.
Look at Raya.
A bad goalkeeper will cost you 6-8 points per season. So the difference between a good and a bad is like
huge.
12 points.
And that's why I see when people are like, "Oh, we don't need to spend loads of money on a goalkeeper in the summer." No, we definitely do. That's one of the key positions. So the is the key position.
I think so.
Yep.
Howe is a massive fan of Nick Pope, though, isn't he?
I know.
He is.
But even he's not going
to think he's got to. No, he's not going to think he's got to have to replace him.
But he's like I
think he is by now.
At this point, right? He's like that old dog. Getting towards like 15. You still love it, but it's not the same dog it once was. It's probably
I'm thinking about like an old boxer.
Yeah.
An old boxer who's taken too many punches, and now he's kind of a bit punched.
Yeah.
Up. That's really good. He looks a little bit punchy Pope.
Daniel Dubois. Glaze.
Who's the guy that Deontay Wilder beat? That guy. He's had
Derek Tresor. Yeah.
That's
well, I think unless Trafford magically materialises at a decent price and on a lower wage, you've got to settle into having Nick Pope as your number one.
I mean, that is criminal. That is I mean, the last 3 games he's played, right? Arsenal comes running out to try and clear just a normal ball, misses it, takes out Gyökeres. Embarrassing. Then the game against Brighton, kicks it off Welbeck. It hits the post.
Yeah.
Then he also, in the build-up of their goal, by the way, which was a lovely goal, his kick just sort of loops and lands nowhere near even the halfway line. Brighton win the header and they score from there. I don't think the goal's his fault necessarily, but the kick, it comes from him. And then last week, comes out, flaps it across in the first half, and no idea what he was doing there. We got away with
that was mental. That was
And then I think you should do better with the Anderson shot at the near post as well. Yeah. Nick Pope used to be a very good shot stopper. He's not anymore. The stats show it. The stats show that he concedes way more than he actually should. And Ramsdale is unfortunately erratic as a goalkeeper, which is the worst quality in a goalkeeper possible. But he
doesn't save shots you'd expect him to save, Ramsdale. No, and then Pope does some weird things where
Pope's just I don't know what he is, but unfortunately he was. If you go back to 22-23 when we signed him from Burnley for £10 million, bar that mistake against Liverpool, which obviously got him out of the Carabao Cup final, he was class. He was absolutely class. He was also brilliant at running off his line and heading everything away, which allowed us to play a high line. He was crucial at that. We knew he could never play from the back, but it was fine. He also had a really good start to 23-24 as well, until he got that shoulder injury. Yeah. And then at the start of last season, he was pretty bad. And to be honest, when he got injured, it wasn't the worst thing in the world because Dubravka came in and was brilliant.
Yeah.
This season, we would have, I reckon, 8 more points if Dubravka was in goal. Genuinely. Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Because Dubravka's older. but
he is.
seems to be aging a bit better. Like he's preserving a bit better. He's still got something to offer, I think, in the Premier League.
Yeah. Yeah, the keeper situation needs sorting out. It really does. It's as simple as that.
I know it does. I'm just telling you, I don't think Eddie thinks it does.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that and that's a problem, isn't it? That's that ruthlessness that's costing us. It's not there. The loyalty to players is admirable, of course it is, but it gets to the point where you've got to realise they're not at the level anymore. They're just not at the level anymore.
The keeper's offside. The keeper's offside. It must be Nick Pope. The keeper's offside.
Yeah, I feel like that sometimes with him, to be honest.
But I think the thing is, Ramsdale is not. I don't think we're going to sign Ramsdale.
No, we're not.
So then we will need at least one more keeper if Pope stays, surely, because unless Vlachodimos is brought back as number 2. But
I've said I'd do that, to be fair. But I think
Ruddy is going, isn't he?
I think Pope will be the number 2. Well, what I hope happens is Pope's the number 2. I'm fine with him being the number 2 because he knows the club. He is part of the leadership group. He is experienced. I just can't have him starting many Premier League games. Like I say, I just can't. Needs to be a proper goal. I look at Fulham. Leno's better. Petrovic is better. Ortega's better. Sells is better.
I don't know about Sells. Sells this season has been very ropey.
Sells is still better.
Against us, there was a couple of things where I was like, "Oh, jeez."
He's still better than Pope, to be honest. Lomans is better. Kelleher's better.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm going through all of these teams. They all have better goalkeepers.
Martinez.
Well, Henderson's better. You didn't mention him.
Dean Henderson, yeah. Dean Henderson, exactly.
He's the one
Dean
I would
Henderson's
have.
better. What, over Trafford?
Yeah.
Really? No, I love Trafford. He's young.
What?
He's bright and breezy.
Well, I think Henderson's been tremendous.
No, fair enough. I mean, explain, I guess. Because Trafford, just for me, has all the upsides. I like Henderson. I just think Trafford
by the way,
Trafford's
only on, well, with his bonuses, of course, you're guaranteed the bonuses at City.
Yeah.
He's on 93.
Yeah.
Oh, right. We could give him a rise and get him.
So he would fit right into our first team bracket.
Yeah, the problem he's got Aston Villa are going to be all over it as well. And they're going to have Champions League football to offer him. The only thing I can think with Trafford is because he did want to join Newcastle, maybe he still wants to join Newcastle.
Yeah, so maybe rectify that mistake.
Yeah.
And also some players we've seen in the past where, on the flip side, where we've been in the Champions League and Villa weren't, and okay, they had like Europa League maybe, but they got Tielemans, for example. We were in for him when he went there. So I wonder if sometimes players, that's not the be-all and end-all. They look at the bigger picture. And Trafford's only 23, so for a goalkeeper, very young. So maybe he will, I think we got a chance. We shouldn't just give up because Villa are interested.
No, definitely not. We definitely
He's
shouldn't
Yorkshire
give up.
lad, isn't he? He's
from Cumbria. He's from Cumbria. So
Cumbria lad.
Yeah.
Northern anyway.
Yeah.
It's not going to scare him to come to the frozen north of Newcastle.
No.
He wanted to join. He's wanted to join for 2 years. So I saw something interesting. Apparently, at the end of the Manchester City game in the FA Cup, where he was brilliant, and in the Carabao Cup game, he was brilliant as well. Made some class saves in that one. Apparently, he spent like a month with the Gallagher. It sort of like tapped his like chest and stuff. So, don't know. He's clearly got some sort of affection for the club. I think it should be the first deal. In fact, I should be saying rumours about it right now. Yeah, just get it done.
I agree, and I know not everyone wants him, but I just think that's the guy after. Let's get him.
That was one that is one we could have got if City was still interested in Tino as well.
Yeah. Well, I still think they are, but it seems that Arsenal are now at the front of the queue. So for Tino, yeah.
But if they miss out on Anderson,
but an interesting comment from Kurt Hennig there. I don't know whether anybody will agree with this. I think we'll find that Park Sung-soo is a better winger than Anthony Gordon.
Wow.
No doubt that he's been isolated because of his nationality.
No, he's written a few things in the comments. I've been
watching.
Something about he got rid of all the goalkeepers because they're foreign, and it's just keeping the English ones. So take that with a pinch of salt, I think.
Also, look, I think this I hope he turns out well, but so many players, about 90% of academy players, never make it. It's as simple as that. They never make it into a Premier League level of player. I'll remain to be seen if he does. I don't think he will.
Hang on. This is the very same Kurt Hennig, and I just cannot agree with this at
I think
all.
he's on a
Get out, move away.
He's on a wind
Push your Barra. I hope West Ham beat us. What sort of supporter in Newcastle United is that? I hope West Ham beat us. How has to be sacked for the benefit of the club? Shut up. Get on your bike. Piss off.
I can't believe Jefferson's got more than one account. That's really...
That's bogey, that.
Yeah. God.
Just before we go, right?
There's no such thing as a Newcastle fan who wants Newcastle to get beat. There you go.
What's everyone's Mount Rushmore? Because I know when you done that on the earlier show before us, I'm just curious what everyone else's is.
Off the top, players that I've seen properly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or just, your personal favourites.
Impact on the club and
I can give you
personal.
Okay, Gimaraish. Ben Arthur. Come back to us for the other two.
Okay.
Gimaraish, Ben Arthur.
Right.
Colaccini.
Oh, thanks.
Wow.
Colaccini. Did you let him shag your missus, Jack?
Best chant in the world.
I would go with Shea Given, Les Ferdinand. I'm trying to think of my Nobby Solano, and then it's a toss-up for me because I think I'd have Bruno in there now, but it would have been Rule Fox. I've just probably
weird.
Fox. But now
why has nobody got Alan? Why has nobody got Alan
No,
Shearer?
I've
got Alan Shearer. Trust me.
I never felt the affinity with Alan Shearer that I did with Les Ferdinand. When I was a kid, that was the first team I really, Les Ferdinand was the guy.
I tell you what, at that age, I was impressionable as well. Les Ferdinand nearly turned me, honestly.
Yeah.
It was the girlfriend I was with at the time that saved me. But no, my Mount Rushmore is because it's players you've seen play, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's easy. It's Alan Shearer, Peter Beardsley, Paul Gascoigne, Chris Waddle.
Oh,
right. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Gascoigne. But Gascoigne for Newcastle.
Of course, it's a Newcastle Mount Rushmore.
He was quite good for Newcastle, though, wasn't he? He was just coming into his.
He was excellent.
I watched the documentary about him actually, and it was quite sad. Like he had that injury in the FA Cup final, and then he was coming back, wasn't he, for Tottenham, and went out drinking in Newcastle and got into a fight, fell on his knee, out for another 4 months. And I thought, God, it frustrates me, Gascoigne, when I watch documentaries.
What about you, Peter? What's yours?
So I would go Nobby Solano, Bruno, Peter Beardsley, and I was tempted to put Trips in, but I think I'd have to go for Shearer.
Fair.
And then Frank Dumas just narrowly misses out.
He did score in a pre-season friendly, so yeah.
True.
Bad.
Yeah, I've got Yang and B were in there actually. What a player.
He's a stud.
I'll go with Joe Linton as my other one, I think. And then I'll replace Colaccini with Cher. So more modern.
Well, I tell you what, if you're making your own Mount Rushmore, surely you don't have to be restricted to just 4 faces. You can carve as many bloody faces in the hill as you like.
Well, yeah, no, but then that's not Mount Rushmore, is it? No, that's the point of Mount Rushmore.
It'll be Mount Cunningham, won't
it? That's the point of Mount Rushmore. It's 4 faces.
No.
So
just 4 though, isn't it?
It's hard.
I could pick 4 out of the current squad that I think
I know. I
wonderful.
get that.
So none of us had one player. All had one player, did we? No, because we didn't all have Shearer. We didn't all have Solano, did we?
No,
because Ian didn't have Solano.
I think no, you didn't have Bruno.
No, I watched a lot of Solano.
Oh, you did. You replaced Fox with Bruno.
I replaced Fox with Bruno. Oh, did Bruno get?
I mean, I'm not.
Bruno was in mine. Bruno's in mine. I don't think Bruno was in Ian's, which is fair enough.
No, well, I mean, I don't know. Ask me in another 20 years when I'm as old as Win, and I might be looking back with me rose-coloured glasses on, and Bruno might only be halfway through his career at Newcastle, and he leads us into European glory and wins the Premier League. Then he's on my Mount Rushmore. But at the moment, I pick the 4 that have impacted me the most because I grew up.
Co-42's got a really nice one there. Said about Lovenkrantz. Lost his old man at the same time that he did, and I remember he scored versus West Brom and pointed to the sky. just after his father passed away. Well, that's very nice, Cuff.
Good shout.
Very nice,
Unheralded player. Logan.
And yeah, he was a proper bit of a cult hero, I reckon. Loving
He embraced the club, didn't he? Came in.
Yeah, he really
Wazza's
did. Yeah.
got 3 of mine in. Could have put Ginola in as well.
Ginola as well. That's cool.
Oh, here we go. Have I now got to use AI? Have I got to now try and work out the AI images?
Oh, hello.
Who were they?
Ali
Who were
G's the second one.
Nick Walter at 3.
No, is that Kill Klein?
Kill Klein, yeah.
Is that Rudy Voller?
Shearer, Trips.
Oh, I think I know who that is. Is that Dabazas?
That's Lauren Robert, believe it or
Oh,
not.
okay.
That's Lauren Robert. Oh yeah, spitting dubs. Trippier.
Shearer, Robert, Kill
He
Klein.
looks like a personal trainer.
He looks like Steven.
No, he looks like Dynamo. He looks like a
that?
magician.
Yeah,
Dynamo.
what is going on? And Shearer, right, AI's got a long way to go. Graphic designers, if you're watching, you got nothing to worry about just yet.
I like the Robert choice. So that's quite good.
Yeah, Robert was good. Yeah,
But actually, you replaced Fox with Bruno, and I think I would probably replace Robert
With Bruno.
with Bruno. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Right, shall we leave it there then?
Yeah.
I don't know where Peter's gone.
Oh,
He's
He's
just
down
gone.
there. Invite him back in.
never happen.
Right, well,
That's
Peter,
more like it.
Peter suggested the idea of the Mount Rushmore, and then Wayne was like, "Nah, get out, son. We're not.
Yeah.
Don't care
Wasn't
about
having
you."
it.
So our
Tomorrow
overall.
morning,
Go on.
I'm doing the presser with Gary. What are your
Class.
predictions, Jack? 2-1 loss?
2-1 loss.
Did you Peter 1-all draw? Is that your
2-2.
prediction for West Ham? 2-2 draw. Oh, that could be a good game.
Mm.
DX, what are you after?
I'm
You
on
were
the same.
1-1,
I'm
weren't
on
you?
2-2 actually.
Right. And what was your prediction, Win?
3-0.
To West Ham.
Home win.
Bloody hell.
No.
I know.
Comfortable home win. Good win. Good.
And Ian's gone for a big win, right? 5-0.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
gone for
What
a-
are you going for?
I think we score early and West Ham go to pieces, and that newfound confidence explodes, and it'll be a joyous occasion,
So
and we'll be excited for the
I'll give
start
you a
of
good-
the next season.
I'll give you a good stat, Ian. No team scored 6 Premier League goals this season yet.
God,
Well,
football's got boring.
In a game. So could we?
right?
Bit no. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really
Wow.
see teams get battered as much now. do
Well,
you?
that's
Yeah,
that's got to be a first. That sure.
Yeah. It's apparently it's the first since like the 1800s or something.
Really?
Right. So does that not reinforce my belief that the Prem is not weaker this season than it's ever been? It's stronger this season than it's ever been.
It's more even.
I think the floor's gone up, but the
Yeah.
ceiling's come down.
Yeah.
So it's like
The
condensed. It's
The
condensed.
depth
Yeah.
is,
Which is
so-
why I'm so frustrated about this season and the winning points that we've lost. We should be
Yeah.
up there. We should be up there.
we should
we
be
should
in a
be right up
Champions
there.
League place.
Well,
We
because
should be in a
think about
Champions League place.
how poor Villa have been. They've lost 12
Yeah.
games, haven't they, in the league now, and they're losing a lot of games now. But they've had such a big gap that no one's really caught them up. Bournemouth are now kind of getting close, but they might run out of games. So yeah, it is frustrating. If we had 6 more points on the board, we'd be right in there.
So that's why this season's it's so frustrating, and that's why I suppose you can say it either way, and I guess why that's none of us have the answers to it. To be honest, what realistically has gone wrong? So
Frustration. One to learn from, I hope.
Indeed,
well, on that cheery note, we will bid you all adieu. And how are the lads?
Away the lads.
End the
Well,
season
the
well.
lads-